Well, good evening and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. We are broadcasting live and then on demand on Roku, Apple Television, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, and of course, if you're a little old-fashioned, you could get us in YouTube and Facebook. I'm talking to you, John.
No.
It's 9 p.m. Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. Christmas is almost here, and I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and welcome to Season 4 of the first LGBTQ plus talk show of its kind in the entire world. We are going to laugh and play through our LGBTQ world tonight, next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
Till the end of intermission.
Is that how the show should open?
Should there even be a show?
It's just not what he's thinking.
Which is just a...
So why the 2 or 3? Show up on your call ID.
For the past half hour, you've been humming jingle bells and yelling, hey, now why?
It's all happening out tonight with your hosts, gay guru Al Ferguson, lesbian activist FayWhat, pansexual letter daddy Elimination, Latino muscle bear Jonathan Casañas, Indo-Caribbean artist TriniDaddy, drag queen and comedian Auntie Maim. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, can you tell we're going to have some fun? Yes. This is Season 4's cast, and it is the most diverse in our history. It's Happening Out is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America. Hotspots Magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 37 years. Woo. And Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. We operate in the exact same model of PBS and NPR. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ community. So let's jump right into It's Happening Out. We always do that with TikTok. TikTok has become the top source for viral content on the internet, and we are television, so it seems to work. You can find everything from recipes, hot guys, and vacation clips. Oh, and by the way, nothing says vacation like a cruise on the new cruise brand Virgin Voyages. Virgin has been an iconic supporter of the LGBTQ plus community, and now Virgin Voyages brings that to an entire new level as your #1 choice of an LGBTQ plus vacation. Value is the word at Virgin. A value that includes being all adult for cruising, Wi-Fi, all food from 20 plus eateries, tips, group workouts, and even essential drinks, all included. That's value. And their values are also self-evident. Virgin Voyages fights for equality and the right to be seen, heard, and included. And this is why Virgin Voyages is part of our best TikTok of the week. So each week we are going to show you our favorite TikTok that we've watched. This week it's Christmas after all. It is The Grinch's Schedule by Kevin Ugupard.
4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I'm bored.
You know, I have to jump right in. What is the difference in that and what we watch every night at Queer News Tonight with FayWhat?
What? Wow. What?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Hey, totally low.
He's way cuter.
That was a line from the television show, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. That's what she just did. Yeah, translation.
Homestead.
Yeah.
I actually never
Got it.
No, neither did anyone else in Homestead.
This year.
Do we love Grinch?
Yes. Everything. I love the fact that we have just kept it going all of this time. Because the thing is that that's the part of the best thing about a villain, right? If you have a villain that's not that bad and you can keep, think about the original was in the 60s. Here it is 60 years later and with still just as relevant. I love it because it's just a fun character.
And I love Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I mean, like, I think that he was just like so incredible, and just how he moved his body and everything, and like his just comedic genius that he brought to that character.
You guys like the Grinch because he's like a straight man, just easy to turn.
Oh, whoa, is he straight?
And his heart grew three sizes bigger.
Yes. I love how, you know, although the Grinch is old, it's still relevant today. There are so many videos where parents dress up as the Grinch to take children's toys away, and children get so upset and have to fight. I think that is so amazing.
Did you see the video? The recent video. There was a video right now of a parent that came in, and the child is literally attacking the Grinch because
but it's so cute. And he's like, get out.
Oh, it's so
you see, only white people can get away with that. Black people do that, we get arrested and take the kids away, you know.
Right.
I'm just saying.
The cops will come and shoot the Grinch. They're Grinch.
And you know, what's really funny is people don't realize the real Grinch is in the governor's mansion.
Lord, yeah.
All right, let's move on.
She got bars.
Come on, Satan. That's
right.
Come on, Satan.
No one from Mar-a-Lago with it too. I mean, you know.
This week that I thought it was interesting on the Grinch. I agree with you on Jim Carrey, but I heard on I think it was on NPR. The original song from the original cartoon, animation show of that real deep voice. It's Mr. Grinch, you know that song?
Oh, yeah.
My God, that thing is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music's awesome.
And he's done a ton more.
Yeah.
Actually,
he's really famous.
Recognized songs ever, I'm sure, because we all know like that song. You're a mean one.
Yeah.
I've never
Mr. Grinch.
You know, and it's funny too, 'cause when I was listening to this on NPR and I was listening to all these phrases about who it was, and you say that, because every time I was hearing all of these things and then I was thinking of you, and
I knew you were gonna go there.
Before we leave the dock with TikTok, get it? Let's think about the best place to make your next video, and of course, that is a Virgin Voyages cruise.
I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through like a virgin. Touched for the very first time. Like a virgin. When your heart beats next to mine.
Well, thank you, Virgin Voyages. All right, I need a drink.
Oh my God,
Right? Let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. We have played this game since Season 1, Episode 1, and we invite you at home to play right along with us as I make 6 statements to our host. If they agree with the statement, they take a shot. If they disagree, well, it's going to be a long night, mostly for me. Then now, let's play I'd Swallow That.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
I'd Swallow That, by the way, is sponsored by the LGBTQ plus community's favorite spirit brand. Bacardi is the world's most loved rum brand and a special sponsor of our nonprofit 501c3 efforts to educate, inform, and empower the LGBTQ plus community. Bacardi is as diverse as our LGBTQ community is. Our neighbors right here in South Florida, they are the world's largest privately held spirits company. Bacardi is also a legacy name in their support of the LGBTQ plus community with sponsorships, pride embracements, and deep and passionate support of our LGBTQ plus charities and causes. And that's why tonight, It's Happening Out plays I'd Swallow That with our favorite rum drink and shot, Bacardi. Woo. All right, here we go.
You saw me doing a little dance, you would think that mine actually has rum in it. I'm like,
exactly
do it.
right.
I love when you guys get drunk.
Right, all right. Trini, Faye was talking to you. All right, here we go. We've been suggestively raising our eyebrows at this ex-Bond star for the better part of all of 2022. As of today, it's looking extremely probable that Daniel Craig might be due for a closet door bust down in 2023. Something very LGBTQ plus is going on with this actor. In January, Craig told the press about the time when Javier Bardem popped out of a cake, a la Debbie Reynolds style, you know what I'm talking about, to serenade him on his birthday while the two were on the Skyfall set. In November, Craig appeared in a suspiciously he-they lesbian pose for a vodka ad directed by I Come Off Very Gay director Taika Waititi. This brought us to the present day, in which Craig announces his involvement in Call Me By Your Name and Bones, and by Ali director Luca Guadagnino, and his forthcoming project that he's going to be involved with called Queer, an adaptation of the William S. Burroughs novel. Pictures of Craig from this movie are already trending on social media platforms. So, question number 1 with this Bacardi shot. I'd swallow that. I agree. I am hoping James Bond 007 Daniel Craig is gay.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about popping out of a cake, but I definitely love to get in between his cakes. I'm just saying.
Bond. James Bond.
You know, I'm not big on forcing anybody out of the closet, right? And, you know, we always want to protect our people, right? But I think that he's freely giving, like, putting the breadcrumbs down so we know what he's doing, you know? And if he is gay, I really do believe he's a power bottom like me.
It's interesting though, because one of Craig's first roles was as another queer character. It was an indie picture in like the 90s, and it's more known because he gets naked. So of course, like when he became James Bond, like those pictures came back out. But it's literally like a queer, like it's a tragic like love story kind of thing. And so when this started happening again, I thought, wait a minute, it's coming all like it's full circle. It's starting to come back again.
You know, it's interesting because let's hope he's gay, because in that scene where he was in Cuba and he walks out of the surf and you only see him from the neck and he walks completely out. It was like I had never heard of him. I knew nothing about him, but at that moment, it's like, oh, you were the most beautiful gay man I've ever seen in my life.
And preparing for this and looking, I was like, all I pictured was a bunch of folks inside a room talking about, he's one of us, and like just cheering and cheering and cheering. I just say, let the man put his big toe in.
Oh yeah.
Test the waters.
A child. Not his big toe.
His big toe. Because all you need is
It's
the
not
big
that
toe.
big. It's okay.
I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I think this is queer baiting.
Oh.
I think all of the. First of all, somebody jumping out of a cake, that means nothing.
You do that every Saturday. Right?
Yeah, and I've had people do that before too, and it's no big deal. He's not doing anything that I haven't seen multiple straight men
Did you
do.
see how tight his pants are, Trini?
Yeah, but hold on. Would you be mad if he was like baiting us like that?
No, I wouldn't be mad. I like gay baiting, which most people don't.
We know.
That's how he finds his dates.
Remember the bathroom, y'all. Remember the bathroom.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the bathroom.
Yes,
Because I like that they talk about it without stigma, and if like somebody who's majorly hetero and whatever can joke around like that, I think. It's
Well, when you
better
think
for
of
the
James
community.
Bond, you think of hetero.
But I do want to like troll my friends who might be kind of anti-gay and who love 007.
What's
Well, it's not the character, it's the
not
actor.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, has anybody else watched Knives Out?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the thing is, and you'll know exactly, his character in Knives Out is very different, and there is a lot of that southern kind of homosexual genteelness to that character.
And you know
Yep.
there's
Well,
another
and-
Knives Out coming.
Well, it's
no,
already
he
out.
might
And
come out in that.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is that because Dave Bautista, the wrestler, he was in a James Bond movie and he was in a Knives Out movie now, and he actually went on record talking about the process, and he said that this is the happiest he's ever seen him in a role
Talking about
before.
Daniel Craig.
Talking about Daniel Craig. He said this is the happiest he's ever seen him in a role, and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Well, and you know, and his character in Knives Out, he comes out, right? And so in an interview, he said, you know, that his gay relationship on the show reflects his life. Come on! Come on!
He's also married to Rachel Weisz, right?
Pansexual.
I think he's
in the
married to
closet.
Rachel Weisz.
Let me educate you something, you know.
So, and what? Maybe she needed papers. What?
Should we
Who
Google
cares?
that? Should we Google that?
No, I'm just.
All right.
to Rachel
We were
Weisz?
talking other
Something
shit. He
that might be something to his
Whatever
wife
he
who might
decides
be
to do,
feeling some
we
kind
are
of way.
We
A-okay
are
with
okay
it.
with
We
it.
love you
Support.
either way.
Yeah.
We're here to
We will
support
see you
either
at Part of the Americans.
Yes.
One of us.
One of us.
Let's go down under. Sydney will be hosting the World Pride event in 2023. The opening concert is now set, and it's going to be a winner. Kylie Minogue, Charlie 19, and Jessica Maboya will headline the live and proud gig on Friday, February 24th. The show will also air on television around the nation on ABC TV and ABC iView. The concert will be followed by the 45th Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras on Saturday, February 25th. Other highlights during World Pride include the Human Rights Conference, the First Nations Gala Concert, and Pride March. Sydney is set to make history as the first city in the Southern Hemisphere to host a World Pride event, after winning the rights in 2019. Australia will surely be talking about the event and its memories for months to come. Well. Question 2. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. Kylie Minogue and stars are going to make Sydney World Pride a celebration of gay Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why Australia gotta be so far?
I know, right?
Straight up.
We should start one down here. Is there any talk of like a...
What, a
We
pride?
have prides here all the time, baby.
Yeah, we have
if you would come from Homestead in June, which is Pride Month, we've got plenty for
we're supposed to have
Mardi Gras.
I swear to God, I keep telling production, you have got, if I'm going to continue to host It's Happening, you're going to have to hire a translator for Homestead, because I do not understand the speech that goes on down
We
there.
have Pride of America's coming here in February.
That's
Boy
right.
George. You know who Boy George is?
What is Pride of America?
Ay, Dios mío. Okay,
Anyways,
can we talk
I
about
don't wanna
Kylie? Can we
hijack
talk about
it.
Kylie?
I don't want to
please?
flip a
Let's talk
table
about Kylie.
today.
We're getting off
I
topic.
don't want to flip a table today.
Oh
Let's
my
just,
God.
I'm just going to tell all of you, I'm just
What's
going
Pride of America?
give you the forewarning. I am one of Kylie Minogue, like, super stan. She's
Oh
my
my God.
number one diva.
Number one, but
Number
I mean, for you
one.
to say number one, that's a lot.
Number one, literally.
Air, Madonna.
No, she's my number one because
Really?
I was into Kylie. Like, she came in my life at a very tough time, so her music got me through some really tough.
I have a friend that,
Of course
and
you do.
he's watching, I have one, and he's watching the show right now, and he's watching you say that, and he's going, oh my God, I don't know that bearded drag queen yet, but she's going to become my best friend. He is so fanatical on Kylie Minogue.
Oh, yeah.
He literally, when
Really?
she announces a show,
Yeah.
if she announces a show in the United States, he flies to
When I still lived in North Carolina, I flew to New York to see her.
There it is.
And then when she was in Georgia, I drove to Georgia to see her.
Well,
both
Now,
for U.S.
here's the
tours.
challenge. If Kylie announced tomorrow
Yes.
that she's going to do a concert in Homestead, would you still go?
I would still go.
I would go.
But-
I would bring all
And
your
she'd stop by my house and take me too.
But the thing is that I love about this, right? Because obviously she's like world iconic. I love that they've included Jessica. So I know you guys probably know who Jessica Mabi is, but she's basically like Australia's version of Christina Aguilera,
Oh, cool.
Britney Spears, Fantasia, all rolled into one. Like she does it all.
What do y'all think about our reference here about gay Oz? Everybody get what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Gay
Yeah,
Oz?
yeah, yeah.
The Wizard of Oz?
No. Well, yes, but like the boy from Oz,
Okay.
the Broadway
I got
show.
you.
Australia is generally in slang referred to as Oz. And
Oh, Hugh Jackman better show up at this thing.
Oh,
my
He
God.
better.
But you know, like, so she came out with Locomotion in the 80s, right? And then, don't kill me, Auntie Maim. Then she wasn't relevant for a while.
No,
and
see-
then, oh yeah, don't spit out your shit out. And
Here's
then
what's-
gay people brought her back. Then she
Here's
started
what's
doing
interesting.
dance tunes.
Well, no. So here's the thing. She did the Locomotion here in America, right? Much like a lot of European artists and Australian artists, after the 80s, they didn't want to keep doing America. So they went back to their countries. And she had she was literally like their biggest pop star in Australia for decades. And it wasn't until her remixes came back over, because she still was not interested in America. It wasn't until her remixes came back over that she came back.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, and like I said, this is a lot of artists, and people, thankfully the internet exists now. A lot of artists gave up on America, and they said, you know what? this country is too big, it takes too much time, too much money, I'm just gonna go back to Europe, I'm gonna go back to the UK. That's why a lot of artists, they have these long careers, people like Simply Red, people like that, long iconic careers.
In their countries.
In their countries,
Yeah.
but we don't know it because
Well, because I had asked one of my friend's kids. I was like, "Do you know who Kylie Minogue is?" And he's like, "Oh, isn't that the woman that Kylie Jenner sued her for the name?"
Yes.
That's who they thought.
That's what happened.
When they thought.
Oh, it
Kylie
was a
Minogue.
giant lawsuit.
I want to change the subject slightly to Sydney and them holding World Pride. What do you think about, let me just reference in terms of what the introduction of the question is, the 45th Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. Now they're New Orleans Mardi Gras, this is their celebration, but it's a gay and lesbian event. Think about Fifth Avenue in New York for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and the national networks in Australia broadcast the Pride Parade, the gay and lesbian Mardi Gras Parade, live to the entire nation. And the number of people that tune in, more than like 70% of all Australians are watching the gay Pride Parade in Sydney live.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
No,
now,
I can't.
Honestly, San Francisco,
I wish I
Los
could.
Angeles, South Florida's, New York, we have nothing on Sydney.
But isn't it still illegal to be married?
No, not anymore.
No.
2 years ago it changed.
It was only 2 years. But isn't that kind of weird that they broadcast?
Well, it's not.
Gay.
Because the thing is that over there, right, they suffered through the same thing we suffered through, right? However, their culture fought back, like the popular culture. They fought back, and the media, the networks, all of the artists, they said, no, we're not doing that. And so when the marriage thing came up, because it was their conservative, I mean, similar to what's happening now, the conservatives started to make inroads again, they pushed back again. And artists like Chris Hemsworth, him and his wife basically like renounced what was going on publicly. And so that's the thing, is like for them, they have a large artistic company that has the queer communities back, straight and gay. Like they have their back more so than I think here.
Well, the big picture here is in the announcement of this. If you are gay, you should be planning for February 2023 of this celebration.
Put my
in
panties
Sydney.
away.
World Pride and the gay and lesbian Mardi Gras all combined into one. Ooh, it's
If any bar wants to have an Auntie Maim benefit show to send me over to Australia, I will be happy.
Let's start a GoFund for
perform.
Auntie Maim.
Let's do it.
Who's that supposed to benefit?
Sell some wigs. I don't know.
Let's move on. A Strange Loop. Have you been watching? A Strange Loop, Michael R. Jackson's Tony-winning musical, will be ending its Broadway run this upcoming January.
Too early.
A Strange Loop tells the story of Usher, a young black queer musical theater writer based loosely on Jackson himself. As Usher pens his first musical, he wrestles with his own intrusive thoughts, self-doubts, hopes, and dreams. These are all personified by the singing, dancing ensemble of the show. The ensemble also includes some proud black names like RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 winner, Bob the Drag Queen, Drag Race Season 14 alum, Cornbread, The Voice contestant, Ellen, and TikTok influencer, Anna Nia. The musical arrangement by Bryson Camper is snappy and cohesive, something you could easily listen to on the loop.
How many minutes till the end of intermission?
Is that how the show should open?
Should there even be a show?
It should start with what he's thinking,
Which is just a cursor blinking because of all of the directions that the narrative could go.
He has to fight for his right to live in a world that chews up and spits out black queers on the daily.
Blackness, queerness, fighting back to fill this is at all white space with a portrait of a portrait of a portrait of a black queer face and a choir full of black queer voices tremble and also bass that I cast sweet spells to conjure up a
Black and queer ass American Broadway shows, yeah.
By the way, breaking news that it's happening out. Lady G in South Carolina has just passed out. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. RuPaul's Bob, Cornbread, and others are the queer black faces we need for a Strange Loop.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers.
Do you even know what's going on,
I
Trini?
don't. I really don't. Like,
Oh my God, we can't even make this shit up, Al. Like, seriously.
they're not in the show for real, right?
What?
They are? On Broadway?
Yeah, it's a musical.
No, I know
Yes.
that. I just didn't know those.
You didn't think black and brown people were allowed on Broadway?
I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that.
No,
I'll
I
drink to
didn't
that.
know those three specific drag queens were in
Wait,
the
let's
show.
cheer that one.
Ay,
It's
Dios
like,
mío.
I just want to say
Well, okay, I'll take a drink then.
that
Some of them can sing, others can't. But it sounds fantastic,
Yeah.
and I'd be all about watching.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, they're not singers, like, obviously.
Well, they obviously are
so-
singing. Bob's singing down here, like he's just talking. It's not really
Yeah.
a singing voice, but it still worked. I thought it was fine.
They do have talking in musicals as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one of the things
know a thing or two.
I don't know how much you all know about musicals, but not to sound like
I was going to say.
Excuse down.
What? I mean, hello. We
hold
are
on.
No, not
musical
not
games
that.
right here.
No, because not to sound down, but like technically, it's actually painful to watch this, and I'll explain why. So, this won the Tony for Best Musical. It also won the Pulitzer Prize, which has only ever gone to 3 musicals in the last 25 years. And despite that, despite the excellence, despite the fact that the actor won, it is having one of the shortest runs on Broadway.
Is that because it's black queers?
And unfortunately, it's a fact that it's in the press everywhere. It cannot be ignored. In fact, there's a big hullabaloo right now on Broadway. This was just the tip of the iceberg because they're starting to notice a pattern that every Broadway play and production that features music.
Why do you think that that's happening?
Because the audience for Broadway is mostly white.
There it is. Who buys the tickets?
But mind you, okay, Michael
they're
Jackson's
expensive.
Broadway show, he's a freaking pedophile. But mind you, that is a long run.
Well, they love
long
Michael
run.
Jackson,
Who's in
right?
the audience? All white people.
Yeah, because they love Michael Jackson. And so, to me, it's one of those things where I love the musical. I listen to the soundtrack all the time. It's beautiful. And I encourage any queer person of color, I might only be half black, it's fine. Any queer person of color, go listen to that because there is a lot there that is not just about Broadway. It's talking about experience. It's talking about experience. We talk often about the impact of the black church. There's an entire song about it in that musical that when I first heard it, I couldn't even believe it was on Broadway.
I want to ask a different vein of question. 10 years ago, in 2010, when I started working with RuPaul's Drag Race,
I knew it was coming. Go.
it was impossible. Well, of course it would because it's true. It would be impossible.
$10,000.
Hold on, let me cash out your $20. Hold on a second. Damn it.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did I mention RuPaul's Drag Race?
Oh, damn it. Another $20. Stop it.
Okay.
Damn.
It would have been impossible in 2010 to see what we just watched.
Yep.
Impossible.
Yeah.
There is no way a RuPaul queen would appear in a video like that representing Pulitzer Prize or Tony Award or on Broadway. Impossible. 12 years ago, just 12 years ago. What do you think about the significance of having, Jinx Monsoon is getting ready to come to Chicago on
yep.
Broadway.
Right.
Nina
that's
West is in
the
the touring
thing.
company of
What do you
Hairspray.
think
Yeah, no,
about
that's
that?
the thing coming from me, right? And I studied musical theater, and I really kind of immersed myself in it, and I started to kind of question myself as to why I go to one show and why not the other. And historically, a lot of shows don't do well, for many reasons, but they still get awards. But it's the people that come and buy the tickets and how expensive they are, and what that looks like at the end of that term. And we had Hairspray, right, where we had a drag queen that was created by an LGBTQ person. We've had Follies. We've had Rent. We've had things that historically do very well, but sometimes
La Cage aux Folles.
and you don't hear about it. And even this show now, like I didn't hear about this until now. So it's weird. Is it marketing? Is it because they're queer?
No, it's definitely
they're black?
subject.
Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely the subject.
So I also think, to go to your question, they got to look at the caliber of queens versus from then to now, and the level of work that they put in, the level of well-roundedness they put in. And I want to actually go back a second. Let's shout out the queerness, the blackness, the melaniness in that whole TikTok, in that video, the different sizes of them, the different melanin of them, and go back to that story. We have a winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, a person who did not win, but as you know, all those different reality situations, and still able to be superstars in this show.
That's
I think,
really
and I think
good
that's the
point.
thing that we really need to kind of take a moment of looking at that all of that beauty come together.
Yeah, but there's successes like The Color Purple as well.
The Color Purple in the Heights, those are black and brown.
Yeah.
You know, there are differences, but I mean, they need to get like a backer. They need to get somebody like to go riot and say they're coming back.
Remember the storylines behind it. The Color Purple talks about the suffering of, and then the overall overcoming of it. People want to see somebody suffer and then win, but to actually celebrate a queer black story is not always.
Strange Loop comes to an end on Broadway in January, and there's no possibility currently in any short-term horizon to say, oh, I wish it went on, because it's not going to.
No.
Broadway is dramatically expensive to keep up,
Yes.
and white people are principally still the ticket buyers, which is what the issue is here. However, you're going to see national tours of Strange Loop, no question about it. When it comes to your town, make sure you go and see it. Let's move on. Mean Girls.
Don't look at me.
Whoa.
What the hell? I mean, finish reading. Keep on reading. Why did everybody look at me? I don't understand.
No, that is it. That's the story.
I was looking at
Wait. I saw the burn book in your cubicle.
Exactly. We turned to the Lindsay Lohan of the table.
I saw it.
You can't sit with us.
All right, you just can't.
Hey, Regina.
You told me that tonight. Stop,
Al. You're being fetched.
Exactly. I'm being fetched. Okay. You know what's funny, by the way? Let me read the age of your joke. 8 out of 10 don't even know what you just referenced.
Oh no!
I know. There we are. All right.
Exactly.
Completely dope.
Girls alone.
So dope.
So dope.
Oh my God. There's haters at the table. Mean Girls alum Jonathan Bennett. He's starting to set the world on fire. Jonathan Bennett is set to star in the Hallmark Channel's first ever LGBT. By the way, I've got to stop drinking Bacardi in this show. It just realized
It hit you.
beginning to affect me. First ever, and I like it. Ooh, that's a nice feeling. LGBTQ
Dirty girl.
plus led
Like a nipple
Christmas
tingling?
film.
Do you feel Latino?
The holiday.
He has felt
sitter.
Latinos.
I'm going to push on.
Yes,
Push on.
that is a good idea.
Premieres Sunday, and it premiered Sunday. In an interview with Out, Bennett reflected on the fact that he's the face of gay holiday movies as of 2022. He said, quote, interesting, "It feels like such an honor to kind of forge this movement in the holiday movie space. And the reason I'm doing it is because I think it is so important that everyone knows that Christmas is for everybody." End quote. Recently, Candace Cameron Bure was criticized for saying that Christmas movies she's making at the Good American Family Network won't include LGBTQ plus characters. But Bennett is concerned on creating spaces where queer talent and viewers feel welcomed, not invisible.
I will be on a plane to Hawaii in 22 hours and 4 minutes. Are you asking me to babysit?
Sometimes the best Christmas plans fall apart in the best possible way.
Who are you?
Jason, we're your family's neighbor.
Jason's great with kids.
I just need someone to help me until I get the hang of things.
Jonathan Bennett.
It was nothing like how I thought it would go.
I'm gonna tell Jason how I feel.
The Holiday Sitter on Hallmark.
Well, question 4. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I think 2023 is going to be history as Jonathan Bennett and Hallmark get the first gay-led holiday film in December 2022.
Yeah.
Is it history?
I don't know if I'm going to drink on that.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's Hallmark, which is the whitest station like ever in life of stations. So I just really don't see black and brown people going.
Oh, they're not there
wanting
still,
to,
girl. They're not there still.
No. And again, brown and woke, and I still wouldn't watch it. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Hallmark and the storylines, it's all the same. The Sitter, oh my God, it's Christmas time. I get it. Like, yeah.
No, you're gonna watch it though.
Oh,
you're gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
No,
Look, it's
I'm
hard.
gonna watch him when he's here for Miami Beach Pride. I'm looking forward to seeing him then.
Yeah.
Well, I think being
And
the
I'm gonna
face.
ask him, why'd you do this movie? Because he gets a paycheck.
There you
Exactly.
go. Why did they do anything? Come on
Let's
now.
pause. Bennett is going to be the Grand Marshal at Miami Beach Pride's parade in April.
Are we covering that so we can go meet him?
We're going to broadcast the parade.
He's going to cover me.
And his is going to.
Only two of them
coming. Jonathan.
Oh.
What does that mean? Does that mean you don't know their situation?
I know.
I'll keep the husband busy.
Yeah.
Don't be presuming stuff now. Come on.
Holiday sitter. First off, okay, there's Faye's observation, but very white bread Hallmark is out there. 5 years ago, impossible to think that Hallmark would embrace an LGBT character in their Christmas movie. Bennett accomplished that in 21. Impossible that there would be a gay love story interest as the leads of their holiday film. Bennett accomplishes that in 22. Don't we give Hallmark great kudos for that?
What's that station that Candace is on? What's the other
Great
one?
American Country.
To me, it's the same crap. Like, they're all the same station
But here's
to me. It's
here's
like,
what's interesting, though.
Skip.
I actually feel like, and I feel like it's directly tied into this movie. I feel like her talking about that station and what they're doing differently, I actually feel like she was purposely, like, ringing a bell, because she's basically looking at Hallmark, even though this is a marginal thing. She's looking at Hallmark and looking at that target audience and saying, if you want actual American values, if you want real, straight, white American values, watch
But
us.
she was even quoted as saying that the gays are trying to gay up Christmas. She has said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's gayer than
with
Christmas,
Candace Cameron.
Halloween.
Oh, yeah. True.
I have a hard time disliking her. I actually do like Candace Cameron.
What?
Get out.
I do. I don't agree with her. Obviously, I don't.
Because of
agree with
DJ?
Do you like her as a person, or you want to suck on her tits?
Because of DJ?
Oh, that went far.
Let's give him an opportunity to explain.
Okay.
I think
You
that
guys drink and I get drunk. I don't know how that works.
that all the people that are not with us, I feel like she is one of the most respectful people about the situation. She has her beliefs, and that's cool. But I instead of trying to make Hallmark and use her leverage because she's like the Christmas queen over there and say, look, you got to do no gay characters. She's like, you know what, I'm just going to exit myself. I'm going to leave and I'm going to do something that I believe in. And she created her own space. I don't agree with it. But I think the way that she says
how does that make her likable to you?
Because every time I've seen her, she used to be a co-host on The View too.
I
So I used to
know.
listen to her
I watched it
all the time. And I think that no matter how much she's attacked for her views, because you know what? I do believe that the Bible and many other religious texts do condemn homosexuality. And so there are a lot of people who are religious in my life, and I can say, you know what? I disagree with you. But there are some people that are really angry about it, they're disrespectful about it, and she has always been kind in the way that she.
Well, because they were saying that she was. No, but they were saying that she was misquoted. They took it out of context.
She does not want me to not breathe. I don't believe that. I think that she does care about people, whether they're gay or straight. So I don't want to because there's so many ways that she could have gone sideways like most other people do, and she doesn't do that. She just has her belief like most other people who are Christian.
So she may believe that, but she doesn't believe that you deserve love and celebrate Christmas and have your story told and know that you can fall in love and be seen on TV. And so those counterparts.
That's not what she's saying. She's saying that she doesn't want to be a part of that, but other people, you guys go ahead and.
So let me just say this. I'm going to just say this just to be as nice as possible, right? Because to me, the conversation you're having right now sounds very similar if you take away religious convictions to this to talking about race. Because the thing is, and this is my own personal thing, right? So whatever. When we talk about all of this and we talk about people's religion, we talk about this and that, you are using the exact same justification that people have used to justify other beliefs. And at the time, I'm pretty sure, because I mean, I come from an interracial family, if I talked to a person in the 50s who said, you know, it's my religious belief that I just don't think you should be together, right? I'm not going to look at you and say, you know what, I respect your beliefs, I like you, because you seem like a nice person.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And
okay.
When it comes to, so I grew up evangelical, as you all know.
We know.
Very evangelical. So when I went through my journey coming out, I had to go through the text to say, you know, I know that I'm gay, but do I believe that the Bible actually condemns homosexuality? In my opinion, the Bible condemns homosexuality regardless of whatever denomination that you may be a part of. I think there are a lot of ways that people are trying to modernize these texts. But I do believe that it condemns homosexuality.
But it does. Okay, but so you don't think that you should be a homosexual?
No, not at all. I'm just saying that there's a great amount of people in my life, in everybody's life, that are Christian. And so I'm not going to put everybody that's Christian in the same box. And I think that the way that she does it, she doesn't say, you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm just going to take my ball and go into my corner.
But
so
she
I
does
disagree with her.
She does say it's okay to have a space for you people that don't think of this.
You people.
Right? She thinks that there's a space for you people to go.
But if Trini has not been out as long as most of us have.
It's very true.
So he's not on that box. He doesn't defend it like we do.
But to his point,
I do defend it. I'm just saying that there is a certain amount of tolerance that we do have to have for everybody who has their belief systems.
So she's allowed to have her beliefs.
She's allowed to, and she's not telling me that I can't be gay. She's not telling me this. Sometimes I feel like we get so defensive about like what other people, what they're not into, that we say that no, you have to be pro us or you're against us.
Well, it's not.
And I don't feel like that's.
But that's not an into thing. We're talking about humanity right now. We're not talking about I love this sports team. We're talking about human nature. And so when we talk about these things, that's what we're talking about right now. We're not just saying, hey, do you like the Patriots? Do you like the Packers?
I think those religious people should have their own space. If they want to have their space to make their movies, don't come over to my side and try to turn what I like into something that I don't
agree with what you're saying.
However,
I agree with what you're saying. However, she got butthurt when she went on record and talked about all these things because she didn't like what people said about her after that. And the thing is that this is where I have a problem.
But you know what Twitter is.
Hold on. If you have a platform and you stand on your platform and you voice your platform and you have a megaphone for your platform, be prepared for what people say back to you. And she was not prepared. And she did not like it, and she walked back her own statements and said she was misquoted, and even though she'd said things like this in the past, right? So I am all about your platform. Be on your platform, but be ready. Because the platform now and the country now is not where it used to be.
And so also, I'm sorry, but I also think that it leads into, again, the separatism thing, because I would like how Mama Man, Lord Jesus.
You can say it, honey.
Because again, it goes back into, if only on this channel you're going to see this particular view of whiteness. And so who's to say that only on that channel are you going to see, you can't see black folks being inside of a movie, or black folks kissing a white character. To me, it leads more into separatism. And remember too, the Bible was translated by as translations by someone's interpretation of. And so
I don't think there's anything racially about that.
But
I'm just talking specifically homosexuality.
But it starts with the homosexuals, and I've said this many times. the moment until we all go together and stand up together. She's now saying on her Make America Great Again TV network, it won't be.
That's what it is, by the way.
It won't be the gay
That's
folks.
what it is.
Yeah.
The gay folks. And now after this, and then who's to say that she can't say you won't see black folks? Who's to say you?
Yeah, but what he's saying is, if I go and I make a gay network, and I only want gay men on my network, like it's not a lesbian network, it's just a bunch of gay bears, let's say.
Exactly.
It's not being hateful.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
what happens? What happens when you make a gay network? The entire straight press, they troll you. They did the exact same thing, but you don't.
Ready for it.
Wait, but we're ready for it. She was not ready for it.
Okay. She's just a sensitive person like anybody would be. But that's also besides the point that I was going to make, which was, do you all really want to see like these Hallmark gay Christmas movies?
They do. They all said yes that they want to see it.
Boo, I ain't never watched. I've not watched none of them.
I don't even know any gay relationships where they're not like sleeping around with like a bunch of other guys or having these open relationships.
Turn off the TV.
But like, why don't you like?
Wait a minute. Wait.
Be a very
TriniDaddy, you are making a lot of generalizations right now about the population.
No.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Stop the conversation. We have more things to drink.
Somebody say what drinks to have.
One of the interesting things in the conversation is Bennett's going to be here in April at Monty Beach.
Oh yeah, we're back to that. Okay.
I can't wait.
We are going to come back to this conversation because the only thing that I wish was happening in this conversation is he was sitting right there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice.
Participate in it because there are many views on this. And one last thing about Christmas, I've said this, I discovered Netflix's line of Christmas films, and there's like 300 of them, and I've been through like 20 so far since that started. So apparently I'm one of those gays that is liking Christmas movies. I don't know what it is. All right.
Yeah.
All right. just like LGBTQ plus on
Santa
Wilton
Claus,
Drive,
that's what it is.
we are taking a lot of shots. Who am I talking about? Let's take a momentary break and hear from our sponsor, Bacardi Rum. Thank you, Bacardi Rum. Well, if there's one thing the gays love, it's a talented diva.
Yeah.
And who better?
Thank you, Al.
Come on, Faye.
He's obviously talking about me, girl.
I was talking about myself. All right. And who better than one of the most iconic divas of all time, Whitney Houston. As a nostalgic throwback to better times, the official Whitney Houston TikTok account posted a major throwback clip of the Grammy award-winning, I know.
Throwback. Throwback.
All right. Wait, let me go back. The Houston TikTok account posted a major throwback clip of the Grammy-winning R&B and pop legend, giving the crowd everything they could have ever wanted at MTV's Pride Pier Dance in New York back in 1999. In the clip, Houston is performing the Thunderpuss remix of her 1999 single, It's Not Right, But It's Okay, which was and still is a staple in many gay clubs all over the world.
That was one of your friends down off at the 4th Street, boy. So why did 2 or 3 show up on your party? Oh, it's not
The biopic on Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody hits theaters this Christmas. And we remind you, she did that performance completely as surprise. No one in the audience knew that she was going to do it. Question 5. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. In advance of Houston's Christmas movie, I celebrate with her 1999 NYC Pride surprise.
Yes.
Whitney Houston.
So sad. I miss her, man. What wasted talent. You know, and you just, you know, so I'm getting a group together to go see the movie when it comes out, right? And for bros, I had to talk people into it. I had to go, well, it's the first gay movie, and this guy did this, and Billy Eichner that, and you have to support everybody that I'm telling.
Beating gay boys off with a stick.
Everybody I'm telling to let's go together and everybody wants to go.
Yes.
Not just, not you, Trini. And it's everybody. I mean, but gay, straight, black, white, like everything, all ages. This is going to be the blockbuster of Christmas. I really think so.
For sure.
So excited. I mean, this is a true story. I almost went to that. I was in college. We were actually talking about going to that.
The New York Pride.
Yes, I almost went that year and everything. And when I found that out after the fact, because I mean, you know, we'd have to drive like 13 hours, and I was like, I've never done this before. I felt so terrible. And the thing is that song. So this is a true story. The first time I went to a gay bar when I was in college, I was like maybe like 3 months in. That song played. It was the third song that played when I got there, and I'd never heard it before. Because you know, back then remixes weren't like they are now, and I thought I was having like an aneurysm, like a gay aneurysm. I literally was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard." And I think that her doing that performance there at that time, at the time that things are going. Because remember, we've talked about this before. AIDS was still a thing. Gay hate was still a thing. It was still high. So for somebody of that caliber to show up was such a big deal.
Has anybody watched that clip? Now remember, what we're watching is an impromptu performance.
We could tell.
I would have died.
I mean,
here's
I'm
the
sorry.
gist. It's not only that, but it's the other context of my question. In terms of the biopic that we're going to see, December 23rd comes out. And we know the Whitney Houston story and what happened and the drugs and et cetera and so on. When you watch that, does it make you sad of what Whitney Houston ultimately became?
Yes, completely. Just like when she got on stage, like right before she passed away, and you just saw her, you know, just so skinny and so waif looking, and you just could see her slowly dying. And we didn't know we would lose her soon.
We
you
did,
know?
But so there's several things. She did 2 performances. They were all the mixes on purpose because she knew that LGBTQIA kept the dance floors alive, kept artists like her in the mainstream, and so she purposely chose that. In addition to that, she said she wanted to support the people who supported her, and that she wanted to support those who had pride in themselves. Yeah. And so, although in her life, it showed that she was being in reality. So she might have been on something. She might have been living who she was, but she still took time to be on that stage to support her gay citizens.
Or she was on that stage because she's gay as hell and she couldn't be out, so she's like, I'm gonna be gay.
But she very much said, hey, I have pride in being a mother, a wife, a daughter.
But I don't think people understand what that song did for the gay community. It was like when I was coming out, that song, man, I'm gonna.
Yes, absolutely.
That song changed my fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, it's not right, it's okay, I'm gonna make it anyway, because I was getting bashed, I was getting hated on. My parents didn't fucking like me. Like, I would drive 45 minutes at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to these clubs so I can hear songs like that. Because it meant so much to me to be who I was on the dance floor. And it wasn't about, it's not about Whitney, it was what she had done for us in a moment where in the outside world, we were freaks. We were getting bashed. We were scared of AIDS and HIV and other STDs. And while we were there dancing to her song, and I remember Eddie Thunderpuss remix changed my life.
Every Thunderpuss.
Sure.
But that one in particular changed our lives because in that moment, we didn't give a shit about anything else in the world except having a good time and loving each other on the dance floor.
And those places, I remember we go in at 12 and we didn't leave until 6.
Yeah.
We left everything there, and we could sweat it out. We could cry it out.
Everything.
We could be free who we were.
Yes. And we can go in that moment. And again, going back, she supported those folks who gave her her first, her dance, #1 on the dance charts because of us, because of the Thunderpuss.
I want to
clubs
change
alive.
the subject just slightly to say when that was happening and the emotion wells up in you in terms of what that moment and what Whitney Houston represented to you. At the exact same time in 1999, she's at NYC Pride, and she is secretly a lesbian, and nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. What do you think about that today now? How does that wash over you of going, gosh, we wish that she would have had the exact same reaction that you just had. I am proud of who I am, and I'm going to tell the whole world.
I'm telling you right now, so obviously I do the weekly karaoke show every Thursday, and I can tell you, Whitney Houston's life now and Whitney Houston's history now, it changes the context of every one of her songs. Because when you think about, I want to dance with somebody that will love me, where do broken hearts go? Like when you go back and you really listen and think about what this woman was going through when she sang these songs,
powerful.
It is, I've yet to have a week where somebody does one of those songs and I don't sit there just sitting.
Or have a week where somebody doesn't sing a Whitney song. Okay, at every karaoke, someone sings a Whitney song.
I wish I could hit that shit.
Because I feel, you know, with this movie coming out, because I love her so much, like to the core of me. Like a part of my,
you know who she is?
Part of my musical that I'm writing, my autobiographical musical, has a scene of me in Homestead as an 8-year-old kid, like singing "I Want to Dance with Somebody," like when they're there.
We've got to see that.
But
you have to share that with us.
There is.
David, you should make.
No, I don't actually have a video, but it's going to be on screen at some point.
We'll make one.
All of a sudden, he's just like all important, and like, I wanted to hear from him. And then, of course,
we don't have a
no, but
Betamax
like
player.
there's part of me that feels like she gets exploited all the time. This is what the 6th movie of Whitney Houston, and there's always a part of me that feels like, you know, again, that they're going to wring her through the coals in some kind of way. And I know that everybody who's her fan is going to come out of there still, of course, being her fan. But there's something about, I don't know if you all feel this way about,
I don't
like,
think
is
that
there
that's going to
something?
happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's that kind of movie.
Here's the one hope that I have for this.
Yeah.
This is the same people that did Freddie Mercury, and they could have done that on Freddie Mercury. They could have been so exploitive of where he was and the bathhouses and the sexual escapades that he had, and they could have made it feel really terrible. and they chose not to do
And you
that.
think this is going to be finally the last movie that they're going to make?
Probably not. This is Whitney Houston.
Right.
Probably not.
But I'm going to push back on you guys on the label, because we talked about this before. Label is, I think, hurt, and so to label her as lesbian, not label her pansexual. I really do believe she loved Bobby. I really do believe she loved that young lady that was in her life.
She was fluid.
And she was very much fluid. And so I think that then the conversation could be, why wasn't she able to celebrate who she was in loving both of those, and why society norm said that she could not love both of those. And then what we could have done to support her better, and I do agree, with Maim said that, the world today, had she been today, we would have more of an upbringing and more of a pushback to say, you know what, love who you want to love, and it's okay because you're being who you are. Yeah. And she never had that support.
It's also interesting when I bring up the lesbian factor, or it could be pansexual. I agree with you. We'll never know that.
Absolutely.
But the one person that has commented on it extensively is the person that she was involved in.
Robin.
And Robin identifies as a lesbian, not pansexual. And Robin has talked extensively about the greatest hit that Whitney Houston ever had, written by Dolly Parton. And so the song from The Bodyguard is Robin saying, this is a secret song of the words that Dolly Parton wrote to her, which is, I am not what you need, and please don't cry over my departure from you. And she has talked extensively about this, and I think that is very moving from the standpoint of saying, I can't be what you would want or need me to be. Now, Dolly Parton writes it about Porter and leaving how he helped Dolly Parton become who she was. But Whitney Houston embraces this song of going, not thinking about that relationship between Dolly Parton and Porter in the 60s, but her current life. And it becomes the greatest single. It's one of the top 10 songs of all time.
Dolly Parton,
and even most downloaded, and still, and all of that. It's crazy.
Dolly Parton still makes $10 million a year off.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's like
a year off that song.
And donates money.
And
donates the money.
Okay.
She actually donates it specifically.
Okay.
Yes.
But the point to that is Whitney Houston, theoretically, if you believe what has been said, knew that she was talking and singing to her lesbian or pansexual embracement, but could never act on it. Doesn't that, in the combination of all of the things, like including what we just watched, in the loss of her voice, very likely because of alcohol and drugs and her lifestyle, make you incredibly sad of one of the greatest talents ever in history, and that was the end conclusion.
And if you go back to the history of all the many documentaries, you see that that during that time is when Bobby kind of had his own issues, Robin was kind of forcing it, so she had to make a choice. So any of those heartfelt songs are the ones who last in the top 10 because they're heartfelt and they have a meaning, whether it's true or not. But then that also could explain why she dove into the other narcotics to self-medicate, to numb, to make it through, because it's evident that throughout her career she wasn't this, she wasn't that, and it's shown throughout many genres. And so I agree with you.
Well,
I think
wow, you agree with that? Holy, hold on, wow. Hold the
take that.
Why you down somebody?
Damn.
Lots of haters here at this table. One thing we can all agree on, we're all seeing this movie on December.
Absolutely.
Hell to the yeah.
No question.
I'm not.
All right, let's move on.
I'll go the day after.
Wait,
Faye.
you're not?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was going to say, how is that possible?
I'm the guy who got mad. I
Right.
You better invite me, Faye.
I'm gonna go see a matinee. I can't deal with the nighttime people.
Well, I agree with you on that.
Let's move on.
Racist.
Stanford University. The Stanford University Marching Band. Oh gosh, do we love them.
I love you
The
right now.
Stanford University Marching Band mocked the Mormon run. I was going to say, no, I wasn't.
No, you weren't
going to. Mocked the Mormon run Brigham Young University's anti-LGBTQ plus policies during a recent football game between the two schools. As part of its performance, the band performed a skit entitled Gay Chicken, and that culminated in two women getting married on the field. Throughout the fake ceremony, the band members used religious language used in Mormon wedding ceremonies. BYU has a long history of supporting ex-gay therapy and anti-LGBTQ plus scholarship. Question 6. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. There was one time at band camp when Stanford Marching Band mocked BYU with a gay marriage skit, at a football game.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah, we love it.
Loved it.
I hated it.
Really? Tell us why.
I hate it. I think that is such a disrespectful thing to do, because there are times that there are times to fight and scream and holler, and there are other times that you have to put aside your ego and know that you are for the cause instead of for the fight. And if you're more about the fight than the cause, then I think it sucks. And I think this situation at a football game, like, I don't think they were recruiting any fans for the
Just as an
LGBT.
FYI, in terms of popular support to your observation, the stadium had a huge crowd that booed Stanford all the way through the performance.
Yeah, and they deserved it. That wasn't the place to do something like that for these people, because those kids choose, or maybe their parents are paying for it, whatever, they chose to go to a religious organization or whatever, and they're not telling people that they have to believe this. I feel like we're back to Candace Cameron again. But like they were there to do their thing, and I feel like it also takes away from the athletes that were there to kind of do their own job.
I'm curious to your point, because you're heard loud and clear. And again, I appreciate you.
Is he? Because I'm trying to drown him out. 5 seconds.
You have a space
and that
here.
was going to be my question.
And you're dope.
Are we in a situation
Completely dope.
in LGBT where we're only happy if it's our point of view? That we can't go, at the end of the day, I can't stand Tucker Carlson. I make the joke, I can't stand Tucker Carlson. Tucker at 8, Sean at 9, Laura at 10. I can't stand their point of view, but they have every damn right to say it. Can we find ways in our community to go, we're better than you, because we completely are okay that you say it?
So artistically, that band doing artistic stuff on the field, they have a right to be artistic. And arts often are the battlefield and actually change things, because had it not been for the arts, there would not be the line of separating the Caucasian folks from the black folks would still exist had it not been for the arts to say, you know what, we're not going to perform until you make this change. And so another thing I like about this is that they utilize 2 women identified folks and not 2 men, which is the typical norm. So another shot to that. And so sometimes you have to push back to make people realize who they are, what they are. They didn't get on a microphone and say change their policy. All they did was artistically make a moment.
I love when gays get creative, or our allies get creative. Okay, this was a protest, folks. That's what it was, and they're allowed to do that. Now. They weren't great, and I probably would have maybe picked the Gaga song, right?
True, to the point.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but I mean,
that's a main objection. I love a subversive message. So if there was a way that they were taking their songs and they all had some kind of gay theme to it or whatever, I'd have been like, all right, I got you. But to be like, well, gay chicken. But
okay, all right.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? To my question, though, do we only want what we want and we reject everything?
Yes, because once we get out of this door, we're not in a safe place anymore, and the world is hetero and white. So yes, when we're together, we have to be this way about things like this. We have to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature, right? For you not to want the other person to have that voice so that you could always win.
But we don't always win, John. We never win.
We never win.
Thank you.
We don't. We just got something signed yesterday.
Something signed. He doesn't even know what
I know what it is. Like, I forget what it's called, but like, the Respect for Marriage Act. Yeah. We do win. We've got gay marriage in 2015.
I want to spell this out for you, right? So let me spell this out for you, especially what you just said. So the bill you just referred to, right? The thing you just
I know what it is.
Wait. Hold on.
Let me drink my tea.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
No,
all right.
Let me get the tea.
We were used as a group, as a queer group. We were used as a leverage point for a bill that affected more than just us. It affected interracial marriages. It affected everything that was affected by the Supreme Court when it comes to marriage. But because the powers that be wanted to change it, they made it a queer issue when it wasn't. I can tell you right now, my parents are interracial. If that bill hadn't passed, they wouldn't be able to be married.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
If that bill didn't pass, they wouldn't be able to be married?
Yes, because if the Supreme Court decided, just like they decided on Roe versus Wade, because that was a Supreme Court
I understand what you're saying, just to go over to get ahead of the...
Let me say, interracial marriage also decided by the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court has the power, if someone brings it to their attention, to reverse those
Yes,
decisions.
but it was the opposite intention. The intention was that we want to codify gay marriage, so we're going to add in the interracial marriage, that because who's going to vote against the interracial marriage part? Well,
Really? Wait, let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. Hold on. Let me be very clear about this, right? Let me be very clear about this. They were already in the
Thomas.
Thank you. Clarence Thomas already brought it up. In the state of Minnesota, they already brought it up. In the state of South Dakota, they already brought it up.
Okay, wait.
No, meaning there's
Let me
trigger
jump in
trigger laws.
terms of helping frame the conversation we're talking about, which is really what's going on here. Stanford, one of the most liberal universities in America, is poking fun at one of the most relatively conservative universities, private, religious, run by the Latter-day Saints. It comes down to the classic battle of 2023. Is it going to be religious rights, or is it going to be civil rights, principally marqueed by gay rights?
Christian religious rights. Please make sure you say that.
Yes, exactly. And so as a result, that's really what this comes down to. The very liberal thinking of Stanford and Berkeley, California, versus Brigham Young and Salt Lake City in Utah, of this classic battle showdown between religious rights and LGBT rights. That's really what's at play.
The thing about their battle right now, though, because to me, I think very clear about what's happening in the Supreme Court, which is there is a battle right now happening about this very subject with religion versus the queer community, because it's about a lady who does wedding websites.
Absolutely.
It's right now in the Supreme Court.
And what do you think, just quickly, because it's different than this topic, but what's going to happen? What do you think's going to, what is the Supreme Court going to rule?
I think they're going to rule against it. I think that they're going to. I think they are going to nail it down. And the reason it ties to this, right? I'm going to tie it to this because it's very specific. Is just this week, a queer organization that had a restaurant or something like that. They got a booking. They didn't know they had a queer restaurant. They got a booking from a Christian group. They told them no.
In Virginia.
Right, in Virginia. That group, no, you are. That group is now raising heck.
Out my face.
Right, they're raising heck, and that's the problem that I have with this specific venue, is because it's only good on one side.
In June of 2023 is going to support the I don't have to do a website for gay if I don't want to, or not. Which is it?
I think they're going to support that they don't have to do it.
There it is.
Yes. Right?
I completely agree.
And that's the thing about this
And
issue.
by the way, this football game is an illustration of exactly what's coming in 2023.
Thank you.
This is the issue of 2023. LGBT doesn't realize it yet, but this is the issue. The Supreme Court is now, Ron DeSantis is now, Lady G in South Carolina is now making decisions saying...
That's who Lady G is.
Yes. Thank you.
God, I wish it was vodka. I wish it was vodka.
I thought it was Gaga.
Faye, your face just now was...
I love it.
The issue is in 2023. This is the new battle of our lifetimes.
It's right there.
Our lifetime battle now is what religious evangelicals do in balancing versus LGBT civil rights.
That's right.
We've lost in the
have.
Supreme Court. We've lost.
It's a 6-3.
And the reason is because a whole cadre of gay guys go, why do I have to vote?
Exactly.
What's the big deal? Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why.
It's a scan.
So we salute Stanford University's marching band, even if it was highly offensive and inappropriate.
That's the best.
Which it was. But we love that because art is messy.
Absolutely, and it should be.
That's the point. And it should be.
And it should be.
So is sex.
Exactly.
What?
All right.
If you ain't leave a pet on my bed, we ain't do something right. I'm just saying.
It's lesbians.
Get a wet wipe.
Oh my God, really messy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
You have to have,
I need a lot of lesbians. I need to put my eye. I need a good
Think
sperm
about
eye.
it.
If it's not a good sperm eye, what are you talking about?
you have dental dams to keep all the
I don't know
fluid
if
back.
I told y'all, but Bacardi is our sponsor, and they're listening right now going,
Bacardi.
wait, what?
The party shots are amazing.
Make a lesbian.
Not as messy.
All right, that's our I'd Swallow That this week. Next up is a segment we call Best Thing of the Week. All right, here we go. None of our hosts have seen this yet. We're surprising them with it. A Spanish whiskey advertisement is warming hearts around the world for its call to families to accept their trans family members this holiday season. the ad from very well-known JB Whiskey called
JMB.
JMB. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Alcoholic
you. JMB, right?
Native American, no, they used to drink.
And they're, would one of y'all like to host the show?
No, hell
Well,
Next week they will.
Next week, right.
My mom has
We'll
thoughts.
talk about that in a minute. The ad for J&B Whiskey called She. The advertisement is called She. Opens with an elderly man trying on makeup and reading cosmetic magazines as he practices applying lipstick and eyeshadow. At first, it seems the ad is about this man discovering his trans identity. But as the ad goes on, it becomes clear he is learning about makeup to be able to support his trans granddaughter.
I'm gonna cry.
The ad concludes with a note in Spanish meaning, quote, "The magic is not only in Christmas, it is in all of us." People around the world are loving this ad for its inclusive message launched this week for its creativity.
Ah, ¿vais a venir? Pues claro, estupendamente.
I can't forget, a trace of pleasure or regret, maybe my treasure or the price I have to pay. She may be the song that summer sings, maybe the chill that autumn brings, maybe 100 different things within the measure of a day. The beauty or the beast, maybe the famine or the feast, may turn each day into a heaven or a hell. She may be the mirror of my dreams, a smile reflected in a stream. She may not be what she may seem inside her shell. Survive the way and wherefore I'm alive, the one I'll care for through the rough and ready years. Me, I'll take her laughter and her tears. For where she goes, I've got to be. The meaning of my life is.
J&B, our best thing of the week. J&B Whiskey and the trans acceptance is a worldwide message of hope. What do y'all think?
God, I am a Grinch. I didn't even shed a tear because it just doesn't seem real. Doesn't seem like an abuelo would do that for someone in my family. So it just is so far-fetched from reality.
Don't you hope
I wish there was, oh my God, I hope and pray. And at the end it said, magia, no solo en las navidades, magic, not only in the Christmas, but in ourselves. You know, how beautiful is that? Like, that's all anybody wants, is to be accepted from their family. A lot of us go searching for that our whole lives.
So I got emotional. I got emotional for some reasons. My grandmother drank J&B, and as a person who was struggling with alcohol, she had to hide it in the closet, and so I would go and sneak the shots and the sips and stuff for her because that was my grandma. And so my grandmother told me no matter what, so in my native family, I'm called Tiger. And she let me know no matter what I did, no matter how crazy I was, she loved me. And so I got emotional because grandparents will do what parents won't, and they will be the catalyst for the change. And so I saw the hope for tomorrow. And so I saw that what my grandmother gave me little by little in our moments, that somebody's kid tomorrow will have that moment for today. And so I got emotional for that, and maybe I think that it's encouraging because although culturally, regardless, grandparents are the epitome of their strength and will love their grandbabies
unconditionally.
Unconditionally.
There it is.
And I will say this, and I share this and I'll let someone else talk, but my mother, as she was leaving, she wrote me a note that I found way after she died that said, no matter what, I know you and I love you. And I think it was my mother, her mother, who told her to, had that influence. And so that's amazing.
And you mentioned your grandmother a lot. I love that.
A lot of people don't know this about me. So I never had grandparents. I never had any. All my grandparents passed away before I was born. And I think that when I watch this, it really makes me think about how fortunate I am. Because much like TriniDaddy was talking about, my mother is very religious. But as religious as she is, the one thing that she can't help is loving her children. I'm not the only gay in my family. My brother's also gay. Okay. And the thing is that in your small town, a small southern town, very religious, it can be very easy to do away with that, right? It happens all the time. And when I watch this, I really think about the relationship I have with her, because to her, that love trumps everything else. Everything else. Drag queen, whatever, all of it, doesn't matter.
Unconditional.
Yeah. Unconditional. And the thing is that for me, and I have so many friends with children at this point, and I'll be very honest with all of you, when I see some pictures of their children, I think to myself, oh no, because I can see little hints of things, right? And I pray always, I say to myself, please let them have unconditional love, please.
What do y'all think about the issue, J&B? I'm a whiskey drinker. I love.
Of course whiskey. You are.
I
of course
am.
You are.
I'm
brown liquor.
I'm a whiskey drinker.
We like that whole thing brown. We know that.
Everything.
Let's leave it in terms of J&B. And what do you think about that J&B would make a commitment to do a long version of a commercial like this in 3 minutes, of the unbelievable impact of the message of a commercial like this?
I think
commercial. Wait. Of a commercial embracement of something like this, and the exact same company can't do this in the United States.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what I was going to ask you. So talk to me when they do it here.
Yeah.
So where is this being?
Spain.
En España. En España.
I think it's like Faye. I'm glad she was the Grinch first. But I don't know how, I've never experienced that kind of love before, so I don't even understand what that would be. But
does that make you sad?
No.
No, because if you don't know that love, then you don't know what you've missed.
It doesn't know. I'm happy with what
I don't know what I've missed. I didn't have it.
I'm happy with what I have.
My question is the right question, because we now know, even if this is not real, that's Faye's observation, we're watching a grandfather that says, wait, I'm going to unconditionally do whatever I need to do to make my granddaughter, which is who she is as trans, be able to represent in the family. So you watch embracement. So it's not enough to sit and go, I don't know what that means. That only says, I've never experienced that kind of embracement. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, of course.
Right. Well, my point was that I think it's such a beautiful gesture that they decided to come out like this and to even if it's not shown in America, you can see it online. It's going to make its rounds that the company is saying we are pro-trans, we are pro-LGBT, and I love that they did that. As far as the effectiveness of it, if it's going to change people's mind, probably not from what I experience and what I see, but I think them taking the step to do it, for me, is the emotional part of it, and it's a beautiful video for it.
Also, you got to take a moment to realize that not only if grandfather saw it, the whole family saw it, but grandfather was the only one who was
the most important moment. There is mother embracing
because mother saw it too.
His daughter,
right? And mother saw it too. And so I go back to something that happened in the show about I grew up in a toxic masculine issue when AIDS was coming out, and whenever it came on the news, it was made a big deal that you can't fall into that trap of. And I remember going to the dance floor. It's funny that circle. I had a car accident, but I still made it to the dance floor because I needed to get over the freedom. And so we have this here in America. Can you imagine how many suicides we can prevent? We could prevent. How many opportunities of teachers being able to support these children who have those shiny lips and don't tell them to wipe it off? How many parents could then truly support and fight against the DeSantis's and the Lady G's and all those people? But until it happens here, and it's seen on national TV.
For them, for España, like most Latinos will say that Spain is the roots, right? That's our roots of it's our home from Latin culture, right? But then when you think of most Latin cultures, Latin families, it was like abuela and abuela are too old to even comprehend what gay is, so you don't mention it, right? Or I had an uncle that all of a sudden disappeared because he was sick. He had AIDS and nobody talked about why he disappeared, okay? And that is the reality, unfortunately, for most black and brown homes. Not in Spain, obviously, but here in the U.S., it's...
And if I can make one other point about this, what I think is beautiful about this is because it is the grandfather, and I think you were going there, Al, which is a lot of times that the parents, when they're struggling with their kids being gay, the first thing they think about is like, what are my parents going to think about this? And they think because their parents, they think are much more conservative, and generally they are. And so for the grandparent to make that first acceptance, it paves the way for everybody else.
The patriarch of the whole family.
It's like nobody else can say anything if grandpa, abuelo is on board with it. Nobody else can say anything.
One final thought. When I watch this commercial, I think about myself and my evolution on my thinking about trans. Dramatic. I had no trans friends. When I came to Fort Lauderdale, I couldn't say I ever even interacted with a trans person. I cannot say that. And I
knew of.
Yes, but that's the focus point in terms of my perspective, not someone else's perspective. And that's impossible doing RuPaul's Drag Race because now I know many of the queens that I worked with were trans, but they were in the closet being trans. Yes. And that is kind of a shameful experience for me. And what I have learned over the last 4 years of being here in South Florida. Then when I watch what J&B has done, I think, oh, this is what it was like for Marsha P. Johnson in 1969. She was just way ahead of the curve. She was a leader in advocacy long before she could be a leader in advocacy. But she just basically said, I don't care what you think, I am a leader in advocacy, and just did it. And that's what happened in terms of the fight against Anita Bryant with the pie in the face. Yes. And that's what happened with Todd and Jeff Del May in terms of representation of being the plaintiffs in a gay marriage case in 2014 and J&B's commercial in Spain is just ahead of that curve. Yes. They are ahead of certainly American society. They're ahead of it. And they should be congratulated because like Marsha P. Johnson in 1969, they're just doing something that they recognize is important way faster than all of us realize should be there. And that's why they're the best thing of the week.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All of us got tears.
Each week at It's Happening Out, we ask our host about what is...
Yes, that's the secret. I gotta
get some Botox then because I've been crying too much lately. All right, each week at It's Happening Out, we ask our host about what is important to them. But the twist is that it must be in just 30 seconds or you're going to hear that bell. This segment is called What's on Your Mind, and it's sponsored by Jet's Pizza. I love Jet's Pizza. Every Wednesday night, I bring Jet's Pizza home and have it, especially for lunch on Thursday. Just telling you.
So good.
Jet's is the LGBTQ plus pizza of choice for South Florida. What's on our mind is the deep dish Detroit-style pizza, or perhaps my favorite, the cauliflower thin crust. Jet's Pizza has been with its happening out for 4 years. I know one day that pizza is going right on the table.
Yeah,
saying.
I'm hoping it does.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I'm gonna eat it.
And you'll eat it, right.
I am
They
hungry.
captured our attention for our 4th season with their campaign called Bigger is Better.
Yes, it is.
And of course, they're talking about their slices. What did y'all think
Sorry.
I was talking about? Right.
Sausages.
Jets support sausage, really?
I thought food plan.
Jets supports a huge variety of LGBTQ plus events and nonprofits with more than 400 locations nationwide and 35 in Florida. They are considered one of the best franchise opportunities in America. Hint, hint. And the South Florida LGBTQ community loves their pizza. And that's why Jet's Pizza is our sponsor of What's on Your Mind. So let's get right to it. TriniDaddy, what is on your mind this week?
Shameless plug. Tomorrow we start Nutcracker with the Miami City Ballet.
Can I crack your nap?
Tell
You do
everybody
every
what
week.
you do with the Miami City Ballet. Tell everybody.
I'm the violinist and the celesta player. The Sugar Plum Fairy, that's me playing with the dancer. Yeah, it's the Nutcracker 2.0.
Oh.
So about 5 years ago, Isaac Mizrahi redesigned the costumes. They put the peach and candy pastel, so it's a little bit different. It's not a spoof on it. It's the actual Balanchine, Nutcracker, but it's got a little bit more of a Miami sensibility to it. It's beautiful. It's going to put you in that season from Friday through December 24th in Miami at the Arts Center, and from the 28th to the 30th at Kravis Center in West Palm Beach. Get your tickets.
Get your tickets. Don't you love Trini a little more that he's doing something like this? Here we go. And Jonathan Casañas, what's on your mind this week?
Well, a little bit of a PSA. It is holiday season, so obviously if you work for corporate America, you're bound to have a corporate holiday party.
Yes.
So you need to be careful and not be me and drink too much and maybe vomit. Not vomit, verbally vomit.
Okay.
Maybe talk about your man's testicles or
You're so
something
messy.
sexual to your boss.
When was your party?
This was yesterday. And I will say that I woke up in my cousin's house and I don't remember going to my cousin's house, and so apparently I stole food.
I love Jonathan.
Oh my God.
He's so
Messy.
I came home with food, and that was, I guess.
Talked about your boyfriend's testicles.
I did.
What about them?
Did you tell
You don't tell us about the testicles.
Why I would do that is beyond
Actually,
me.
this is not a big deal because I've seen his boyfriend's testicles.
You've seen everything.
Everyone's seen his testicles.
Everything.
Yeah, so just be careful when you go to these parties.
Christmas
Do not
party
drink.
warning.
Yes.
This is a public service announcement.
Public service
by
announcement.
Jonathan Casañas. Thank you. Interesting. Elimination, what's on your mind this week?
Oh, besides I love Faye, because I just love my Faye. So, Golden Globes, talking about the Nutcracker and Globes. I have to speak about Abbott Elementary. I'm glad that finally the America...
Watch 1 minute.
What? It's so
I'm not
good.
surprised.
It's
I'm
so
so
good.
not surprised.
What's it called?
I'm so not
Abbott
surprised.
Elementary.
I'm so not surprised. As a former teacher, I love all that, but more importantly, that America is finally seeing the amazingness.
How much?
Bacardi, Viola Davis getting nominated, Angela Bassett getting nominated, Woman King, Black Panther, Abbott Elementary, all centered around colorful,
Strong black women.
leads, Shirley Ralph, like all those amazing folks. So my thing of the week is that I continue to wish that we continue to push forward the black and brown voice, and that America kind of so that way we don't have shows on Broadway that are folding that cannot be backed by superstars. Because if we have superstars that back our shows, we won't have short runs.
Yeah.
So Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, strong black women.
Checkbox.
Got it.
Check. Got it. And FayWhat, what's on your mind this week?
FayWhat? You know what's on my mind? Mental health, depression, and the holidays.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
especially in our community, big time, right? You know, this morning we got the news that Stephen Twitch boss committed suicide. one single bullet to his head. Tragic. You know, he was Ellen's DJ. He was also So You Think You Can Dance. He was in Modern Family, Magic Mike XXL. Like, he had an incredible career. He had a wife and 3 beautiful children.
I know,
Yet
you
he
just
still
shocked me.
ended his life this morning.
Today.
You know, mental health is real, depression is real, and boys, I'm especially talking to you. There's such a stigma with you boys just saying, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. My emotions aren't okay. It's okay to say so and find some help. Call somebody. Talk to someone. Everything is not as awful after you talk to someone who loves you. Trust.
And Jonathan, did you just say, repeat what you just said?
I'm just shocked. I did not know. That is mind blowing because I've been watching him since So You Think You Can Dance, and I did not get any of that. Obviously, only from his public persona.
And he went to a hotel to do it. You know, for us as black men, you know, it's hard to say we need help. You know, he ran to a space that, you know, he felt safe, and he did what he did for whatever reason he did. And so again, another reason I love you, because we have to seek help. You know, we have to ask for help. We have to find a way to say, the smile is a facade. I put it on for them as makeup.
Look, before you ring that bell, Instagram and social media isn't really how people are. Okay? Reach out and find out that your folks are okay. That's it.
That's exactly it, right. And Auntie Maim, what's on your mind this week?
I'm a piggyback off of Faye. We're actually on the same page. I will tell all of you, 211 for resources, 988 if you are having suicidal idealization. It is very important at this time of year for everyone to be aware of this. It does not matter what people look like on the surface. Check in with people. It does not matter. Every smiling face does not mean they are okay. And the thing is that, and as Faye said, men, and I will say this, especially black men, please listen to me. You are the highest suicide risk in the country. If you need help and you want anonymous help, 211 or 988, please call those numbers.
Make the call.
Wow.
That's what's on everyone's mind this week. And also on our mind is some great Jets pizza.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jets Detroit style pizza. Hand pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Well, thank you, Jets Pizza. Okay, next. Our Hotspots magazine is going to celebrate 37 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle. Really?
Squared.
Really,
Squared.
Oh, y'all stop? Really? The whole
complete stop. I mean, Hotspots has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the spirit of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's sponsored by the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. In LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. And when it comes to Broward Center, size matters. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the entire world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. Broward Center is the home for LGBTQ plus entertainers, shows, Broadway, national drag performances, LGBTQ plus choral events, and so much more. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities right here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and really all over South Florida.
Yes.
They support their support of LGBTQ plus community and our nonprofits is unlike any other single theater in South Florida, period. We are excited to tell you about many of the upcoming shows in the rich 2022-23 season that is upon us that the Broward Center for Performing Arts will bring to our LGBTQ plus community. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts.
Cultured.
And I'm proud of that statistic.
Yes,
and that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspot's Queer Entertainment this week. All right, here we go. Spend your holidays in Miami with this supercut video of the best Christmas scenes from the Golden Girls. Yes. Whether it's Rose tossing Santa out of the house for getting naughty, or Blanche and Dorothy wisecracking at the soup kitchen, the compilation from TV Land has all your favorite Christmas clips in one segment. Earlier this year, beloved star Betty White passed away shortly before her 100th birthday. A celebration scheduled to run on NBC still aired with celebrities honoring the late comedian and actress. Cher sang the 1978 Andrew Gold written song from the original soundstage where the Golden Girls was filmed. Stage 5 in Hollywood. Let us enjoy the happy moments of some of the examples from our favorite The Golden Girls Christmas. Because, as Cher said in her tweet, every friend is golden.
Hey! Rose, for the past half hour you've been humming jingle bells and yelling, hey. Now, why must you do that?
Because it's too hard to hum the hay. Catch me, catch me, catch me!
Let me take a wild guess. You didn't expect us home this early.
Dorothy Rose, I'd like you to meet. We know who he is, Blanche. Santa, how could you?
Rose, this is Ed Kleckner. He's working part-time over at the mall. He's on his break.
Santa is never off duty, mister.
This is just 2 of dozens that are included in this reel. Our Hotspot's Queer Entertainment headline of the week: the best of Christmas in Miami with the Golden Girls. What do we think about the girls?
We can never get enough of the Golden Girls. You give us a little bit of bread and we'll take it. We just want more and more, right? Like everybody was doing those Lenza AI pictures for the last couple of weeks, and somebody did that to the Golden Girls. Guilty. I mean, oh yeah, Dorothy looked amazing. You know, I've always said I'm Blanche, but I'm more like Dorothy, unfortunately.
I'm definitely a Dorothy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely...
He's the Santa Claus. You're the Santa Claus.
You're Santa Claus.
I mean, I think for, obviously of a certain age, right? Some of us watched The Golden Girls when it was originally on. And it was one of the few shows that I was allowed to watch, even though it was well past my age limit. And I think that what's so great is that when we think about something like that, things like that, they're so pure, right? And when we think about some of those sitcoms that survive over the years, it's because they're not trying to do anything other than just exist, right? They're just there to make people happy, make people enjoy themselves. And I think that at the time, especially when we think about the age of them and when they played those roles, and we think about that age now, that couldn't even exist now.
You know, and I have to disagree with you, and I never disagree with you, Auntie Maim. I have to disagree with this. I think that the Golden Girls was so far ahead of its time.
Oh, it was.
Okay, and they touched on subjects like abortion, gay marriage,
Stop stealing my thunder.
Trans. I mean, they touched on so many things, but because they were 4 old women, they were allowed to say whatever the F they wanted.
Yep. Okay. Well, no, because they were wrong as well. A lot of their opinions during the show had to have changed in the progression of the show of the plot. Was they were like in the wrong always. They always had something bad that they said or did, and then they came around, and that's what made it beautiful. Because a lot of us always have wrong opinions, and then we
and they would learn a lesson.
They beautifully learned a lesson. And one of the things that I thought about this is Golden Girls Christmas is so amazing. The show itself, because one of the Christmases that they had where they sent a black worker home.
Yep.
And said, you know what, you go home, and we're gonna have, and then they had snow in Miami. When has there ever been snow in Miami? So not only did they fed the homeless, they could not make it home, and they made this black gentleman at peace. During that time in the 80s, and there was so much culture fighting and fighting, and they did that, and that's why we love them, because as a community, we want to find ways to come together, right or wrong, learn a lesson, teach each other how to be better humans.
Who was everybody's favorite character?
Dorothy.
Golden Girls.
Dorothy.
Dorothy?
Yeah, I probably said Dorothy. Rose or Dorothy?
Oh, Blanche. I'm a Blanche.
Probably.
Of course, you're a Blanche girl.
Really?
Shocking. Right? It's a
Elimination.
You
and
see, you
Blanche
guys are
girls,
both
right?
Blanches.
Exactly.
I'm going to say Sophia.
Picture it.
Wait.
But I'm going to say picture it. TriniDaddy in 1985 with his Caribbean parents in Homestead out in the fields. It was one of the only shows that I would watch with my parents. And which you can see the adult themes into it, but they just thought
he doesn't get it.
He wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd watch Amen 227, Jack and
then I'd watch
227, watch Golden Girls with them.
Stop.
And like,
right now.
Stop. Yeah.
Stop.
And
That was the lineup. That was the
and I want to say
Probably
like 8 or so.
8.
I'm done.
And I understood every bit of it. I understood every bit of it. And I want to say that is like why I always talk about whether it's a gay film or green lighting, whatever, good writing, it doesn't matter because at that time, it's not like 4 old, geriatric women was the norm. And if there's good writing, it's going to sell.
That's why,
it's
by
gonna work.
the way, Betty White was so outstanding in Hot in Cleveland.
Yes.
Because the writing was so good.
So good. So good.
Was so good. And who would you be?
You know, my wife is constantly making fun of me. We'll be somewhere and I'll like go and like secretly tell my best friend, oh my God, I slept with that woman that's over there. Shit, right? So like so now my wife will be like, if I'm about to tell a story, she's like, is this a Blanche story?
Yeah.
Because all my stories have something to do with sex in the bathroom or sex with somebody's wife that I shouldn't be or, stuff like that. So I'd say Blanche.
I happen to hear
They just made my nipple get hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Your last story, and you were talking about bathroom sex. And I thought to myself, wait, is Blanche?
Now
wait a second. So when we said who did we like the most, we mean who we most resemble?
Yeah, well,
not resemble.
because I'm Blanche, but I do like Sophia.
You're Blanche.
Yeah.
You like Sophia.
I will say my only gripe with the Golden Girls, and I only have one, is that they got rid of their gay roommate from the pilot.
Yeah.
That's my only. I mean, obviously it was ahead of it.
So typically gay. We
Wait.
It all.
But he wasn't even a roommate though. He was hired.
He was a roommate.
He was hired.
Mario Lopez deported. I was mad about that.
I mean,
no, she tried to help him.
She still like him deported.
All right.
I still watch this every night, by the way.
Before we move out of our entertainment headline, would you like a little breaking news?
Yeah.
I can't.
Breaking news.
You want some breaking news?
We're gonna interview Betty White. Wait, she's dead.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
She's alive.
NBC has committed to a
remake.
Don't say it.
A restaurant.
Oh,
that's different.
Cheesecake.
Wait,
I'm in for
and cheesecake is the feature.
Yes.
And the restaurant is a pop-up where they build in the restaurant all the sets of the Golden Girls.
Stop it.
Love it. Let me guess, in New York, right?
You have lunch or dinner in the house at the Golden Girls.
On the lanai.
Right?
It is currently underway. They've done it in one city. They're getting ready to open in New York. They're going to have a 3-month run in New York. And in 2023, guess where they're coming?
We better be filming there.
It's happening
Miami,
out in
Fort Lauderdale.
We better be filming
On
there.
the lanai.
I hope it's Fort Lauderdale.
To Miami.
We better be.
Why would you be in Fort Lauderdale? It's actually.
Fort Lauderdale would have been a better
We'll
choice.
never get in.
Really? You
If
know?
it's in Miami, there'll be so many people going to see it that we won't.
You better swing swing that travel dick of yours around.
Yes.
We can film there.
Yes.
Swing it.
Privileged white guy, you make it happen.
Slap him in the face.
So one time we can
Here's
use
my
you.
problem, and it's happening out. No one listens.
Go.
Make it happen.
We've already asked to do a special broadcast.
Oh,
out on the set. I am not.
Oh my God, let's dress up. Oh my God.
Yes. Can we
you.
do the dance? Remember the dance they did off the lanai into the
They're getting ready to open New York, and we said, look, when you come to Miami, which is the home of the Golden Girls, the gay community is your greatest audience, and because we are the greatest audience, it's happening.
Oh, wait a second. Now
broadcast.
Okay, wait, we haven't got it yet.
It's going to be Hunger Games between all of our hosts to be on that show.
It's definite that they are coming
Not all our
to
hosts. I know.
Miami.
No, it's not definite that we will be there.
Hold on, chair number 2. I love chair number 2 privilege.
Can TriniDaddy beat Mario Lopez so we can deport him?
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier.
Right.
Swing that big white privilege dick around and get it done.
The number one thing that they sell in the restaurant
Leave it alone. Stop doing that.
Cheesecake.
All about it. All about it.
You know what's funny? I don't like cheesecake.
Stop.
You're not on the
Pretend,
episode.
pretend. Not on the episode.
I will fake it. I will fake it. I will fake
On the
it.
6th of the episode, whoop, out.
I will fake it. I will fake it.
All right, Golden Girls, we love.
I love it.
All right. And
God.
speaking of, see, did I deliver breaking?
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of Hotspot Square Entertainment, here's a quick glimpse of Broward Center 22-23.
The Broward Center for the Performing Arts, Parker Playhouse, Aventura Arts and Cultural Center, Rose and Alfred Miniachi Performing Arts Center. 4 venues that together bring a wealth of excitement to our community through the performing arts. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the center for world-class live entertainment, arts education, special events, dining, and more.
Oh, thank you, Broward Center, for the Performing Arts.
Love you, Broward Center.
Yay! Absolutely. All right, next up, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church right here in Fort Lauderdale. And supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m. every week.
Happy Solstice and Happy New Year. I'm entertainment journalist, poet, and fiction writer Greg Shapiro, here on the set at Sunshine Cathedral, which is one of the many things I love about Sunshine Cathedral, being the home for It's Happening Out and Queer News Tonight, and also for its wonderful entertainment shows. That's why Sunshine Cathedral is #MyQueerChurch.
And it's not a good phrase.
You know, before we move on, other little breaking news. We're getting ready to announce in January, we have made a major commitment to Sunshine Cathedral, and we're going to do a special edition through the entire 2023 for Sunshine Cathedral for Queer News Tonight. And we're going to focus on a special show for Sunshine Cathedral that is going to focus on faith intersection for the Black community, the trans community, the lesbian community, students, and seniors. And the entire program is going to be about why faith intersects all of these communities. Stay tuned, January 2023.
Wow. Amazing.
Next up, if we were standing around the LGBTQ water cooler, this is what we may all be talking about. It's sponsored by Hot Topic. Are you familiar with Hot Topic? It is an American retail chain with nearly 700 locations specializing in counterculture related clothing and accessories, as well as licensed music. Hot Topic represents many varied interests of the LGBTQ plus community, including music, movies, graphic artists, gaming, and more. Hot Topic features one of the largest collections of Pride merchandise in America that celebrates all aspects of our LGBTQ plus community. Hot Topic is a major supporter of the diversity of our community and supports many events, festivals, and nonprofit LGBTQ plus organizations. Very notable is their support of the Trevor Project, and we love them here. The LGBTQ most important voice of the LGBTQ plus young people, and that's why they are the sponsor of It's Happening Out's Hot Topic. Here we go. For some people, doing adult films is an empowering and ego-boosting experience. Indie model Jennifer Clifford recently posted online, quote, "It has actually helped me be comfortable with myself. It's powerful and freeing, and honestly, I have a blast," end quote. And many others report having the polar opposite experience. Performer Susie Q, spelled after the Indian tribe name, told GQ, quote, "The minute you have sex on camera, you become a second-class citizen," end quote. So with the quandary and that quandary in mind, one Reddit user asked fellow Ask Gay Bros readers at Reddit last month if they'd ever work in the adult industry. The user posted, quote, "I've been approached about it before, and the thought of it kind of turns me on, but I don't know."
You don't have a shirt on.
No, it's really hot in here, honey.
Well, wait a minute. Do you have pants on? Are you guys fucking?
No.
Are you serious?
That's not what it looks
Right in front of my salad?
It's not
You
what
guys are fucking gross.
My salad.
Why you play that clip?
You tossing salad by my salad?
By my salad, right.
Hot topic right now is going, wait, what are we involved in? All right. Our hot topic of the week. Would you ever star in an adult film?
You know, like, and I love what you read about that it would automatically make you a second-class citizen. It sounds real, you know. And when I read that, when you read this, I thought of Jonathan telling his mom about being on OnlyFans. Remember when you were telling us about that, right? So I went and I asked my favorite tia, Mildred, right? And I was like, what would you think if I would do an adult film? Girl, use what you got. Make that money. That's what she yes! And
Did she say it just like that too, with the snap?
Yeah, she's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But, you know, I don't think many people would probably disagree with her. I mean, you know,
I mean, if you're going to make a substantial amount of money, things change, right? Your perspective changes on a financial gain, like you're getting something out of it. I think, you know, when I went back to my mother and I told her and she laughed about it and said, you know, as long as you can put your head on a pillow and not feel guilty about it, like, then do it. And then I was struck with the moral dilemma again. I was like, wait a minute, if my mom says it's fine, what the fuck is wrong with my brain? I'm still programmed to think that I would be a second-class citizen.
I thought that meant you had to lay on your back.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it
Just in contrast of the potentials, there's also lots of, it doesn't amount to much. I have a friend on OnlyFans.
You have friends?
I do.
Here's one, remember? Here's the one.
That one guy.
RuPaul's Drag Race. Wait, that's not a friend.
No.
$20.
He's not a RuPaul fan. He's not a RuPaul.
Oh, there you go, right there.
Let me cash out.
In 2022, doing OnlyFans, no major label, only through OnlyFans, own his own personal branding at OnlyFans, and he will make his estimate by the end of the year $450,000.
Oh yeah.
So I will share.
So that changes a lot for me.
So
because if I knew
Bitch, we've been trying to tell you.
That was guaranteed. So Jonathan, please answer that. If that was guaranteed.
If that was guaranteed, my dick would be on this table right now.
We've been trying to tell you.
We've been trying to tell you. So I've been able to afford a Whopper or two through my OnlyFans. Hey. And so I recently had a conversation.
Afford a what?
A Whopper.
A double Whopper, probably.
I heard a white boy or two.
To you?
I heard double Whopper.
I had. And so
that was very sophisticated, dude.
And so
and McFish.
The crazy thing about this whole conversation is, you know, definitely everything I do is face covered, pixel, what have you, even my co-star.
Yeah.
Very much raw, very much amateur, very much the real. And I had a conversation with someone who's very much out there, professional career, and he says he does the other side, the OnlyFans, the Just for Fans, because he wants people to see that you can have a professional real life career and still do this, and it does not equate, it does not mean who you are less than or only identified by this. And so I had a dilemma by that, because only things I will ever do is I have to have certain things covered for that personal in my brain saying I can't be, but at the same time getting a Whopper or two and wanting that piece of my life, because work is work.
Yeah, but that's what it is, because I've had this conversation with a lot of people on OnlyFans, right? I'm doing the research. And none of them make that much money. They still have day jobs. You know, they make vacation money. They can travel now using this little, you know, chunk of change.
You have to have a niche, absolutely.
In OnlyFans, you have to be really good at the image that you create. A lot of, I have, and this may or may not come as a surprise to you, but I have many fans, or many friends.
Oh, for real?
All right, humble brag.
Yes.
I have many friends.
He's 0.1%. He's at 0.1%.
In this platform. And one of the areas that you can make a lot of money on is if you're a muscle guy.
Yes.
And for
Jonathan?
pitching to gay,
Not anymore, but I got back.
to gay guys, it's a fetish that can be wildly successful. I have a friend that I have known for a decade, was on my cruise, on my RuPaul cruise. And he, I'm not going to say the full name because I wouldn't want to make the connection.
No, of course not.
Part of the title has horse in the OnlyFans name.
Okay.
And completely masked and completely sleeved and completely gloved. You cannot see any skin except in one place. And there's a reason why the label is the label. And he's wildly successful in gay and those that are interested in watching a size-related thing in OnlyFans.
So TriniDaddy.
He makes a huge amount of money.
Okay, but not everybody does.
Well,
Jonathan
No,
said,
yeah,
you
but
know?
if I covered
have
myself,
specially.
that's easy for me, right?
To cover yourself.
Because I have so many tattoos,
What you gonna do?
would know me.
You gonna wear a bodysuit?
Instantly.
Okay,
And I would have to probably include Chris, because like a lot of my boyfriend, because the people that are approaching us and asking us to do it, it's a fetish on bellies, and it's a fetish on both of us being linked together in this process. Yeah. So it's harder than it may seem, because I have to hide my identity, and then I have to bring my boyfriend into it.
Why do you have to hide your identity?
He wants to.
Wait.
Yeah, no. Like I like the mystery of it all. I don't want everyone to know what I look like naked, unless you pay me, and I don't want it to fly off on Twitter. And a lot of the reasons why I feel like
I didn't have to pay you. So
well, that's you, Al. How do you think I wanted?
That was the holiday
How do you think I got this?
Wow. That was just last night. There's more to this story, I assure you.
But
How do you think I got on
you're right though.
on the show?
Those folks who show themselves and their full face do make more money than those of us who hide certain aspects of our life for whatever.
I have a friend, and she's gorgeous, okay, and she was initially doing mostly sex work, and now because of the OnlyFans, right, she's doing less sex work and doing the sex work that she wants to do. With the fans of her OnlyFans.
And that's the tea, right? She started making money, so she let this part go. I have a day job. I work for a huge company. Once I start making money, then I can maybe show my face, because I'll let this go. Yeah. But I'll get fired if I'm an extension. Yeah, I'm an extension of that brand. Yeah. So if they find out that I'm on OnlyFans, then I lose all types of
But that's how
income.
I feel as well with Jonathan. But I've always loved the idea of like being a porn star.
Why?
Because I just think that it's like
Howard.
I mean, I've seen a lot, and I'm like, I could do so much better. I'm super creative.
I could do better.
And I'm like,
go on this kid.
You guys, the whole idea of like being a second-class citizen, nobody can tell me I'm a second-class citizen. There's no way that
Do you
would
have a big
ever.
penis?
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you have a big penis?
I ain't gonna say on camera.
So that means no.
But,
Let's
no.
continue.
But I'm just gonna say, like, I mean,
We know.
We know. If Elimination takes his dick out, the whole place goes dark.
So like that whole
heavy signals
fantasy
on
is for me, it's like taking the stigmatization of sex out of society, putting it in, and it can be fun. It can be like, it doesn't have to be this like, when I left religion, I used to think like, oh, it's just between a man and a woman and this, and it's been marriage, and I'm like, no, sex can be like.
Yeah, but if you
Doesn't it give you like Jerry Falwell vibes?
Yeah, but oh my
He's all like
God.
religious, but then he's a freaking freak.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Isn't
No,
that
but that's the tea.
Right?
If the stigma wasn't there, pornography wouldn't be as hot.
And so, I want to say this though. Growing up, that was one of the aspirations that I had, to do porn. But I hated my body.
He was like 9. He was like, yo.
I hated my body. I hated what I looked like. This image of the two-spirit of me wanted to show out. This person wanted to be. And so I did not like who I was. And until I grew into my adulthood and realizing that my body was beautiful. And so the Just for Fans side of me, and that anonymity of having having the real, not a cameraman going around and but just the true realization of these are two people getting it. I like real stuff, not the camera posing, but the true stuff.
I need a story.
It wasn't until that moment realizing how beautiful I am that I could empower someone else to realize you don't have to be.
You're beautiful.
This.
You realize what happened. You realize you had a big dick, and then you're like, what am I doing? Why am I?
Anything with this penis that I have.
But I love me, and so if I love me, I don't mind sharing it with you. I don't mind sharing it with you.
And if I can add, one thing to that, like the shame that I grew up with nudity and like sex, like I remember like never walking around without a shirt on, because I felt so, like, I just felt dirty. And I always felt dirty about it. And then especially realizing that you're gay.
No, I know what you mean by that.
I don't know why. It's not like anybody really told me that. It must have been whatever the culture was.
Did you feel like a sinner because of the Bible?
No. Look, I have very sensitive nipples, right? So, like,
I didn't expect that.
So when there were certain shirts.
I wasn't expect that response.
I'm gonna throw this cup, see what happens.
But like when I was like about 5 years old, I remember there were certain shirts that I would wear, and I'd get this feeling, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so dirty. And nobody ever told me that, and I don't know why I felt that way, but I did. And like, I never would walk in front of a mirror like naked if I had to change clothes. And there was nothing wrong with my body. I just had this weird thing. And when I finally got over it, I was like, why am I not, able to show?
Your parents effed you up, Trini.
So, now just tell Trini that I have clothespins and nipple clamps and everything that he can need.
We know.
Right in the car. What do you have it right in the car?
That sounds intense.
Humble brag. Humble brag.
A couple of interesting things out of
Al doesn't even know where to
Just
start.
a couple?
I know.
Just a couple?
He's been masturbating.
Everybody's heard of Roger Stone.
Yes.
Roger Stone and I have become friends.
What?
And I interviewed Roger Stone, and I interviewed him,
The politician?
The Trump
Okay.
guy. And the one that probably should be in prison.
Just keep on going. Go ahead. Now.
And interviewed him here, and I interviewed him in the apartment of the Mayflower Madam.
Wow.
And one of the things that was interesting from that experience was that he identifies as libertine. And
As what?
Libertine. He's a libertine. His sexuality is he's married, and he identified with, wait, don't limit me in any possible way.
Never
And
heard
from
of
that interview, we started communicating by text, and I communicate with him relatively frequently. And he's talked about many, many different things, and I have been to a number of social events with him. And it's interesting to me because exactly opposite of what you've just said, his observation is regardless of who you are, you should completely embrace anything that you would like to do. As long as it's consensual and no one is harmed, there is nothing off the table.
Well, that's true.
And
I feel that way about a buffet.
I was going to say that's true. But it sounds like
Nothing
he's
is off the table. Salad bar, yes.
Interesting to me, attractive, young, interesting guy, and you have self-controlled yourself. And Roger Stone at the opposite end of the spectrum is saying, why would you do that? And
he looks like a Batman
It was
villain.
so bad that when I saw somebody naked when I was little, like if we were changing to go to the pool, I didn't even want to talk to them. I didn't talk to them for the rest of the school year. I have no idea where this came from, but it was just this weird thing.
I like you less and less every show. I don't know how that
I'm a
happens.
complete
Like,
180
like,
from
oh
that
my
now.
God, this kid.
Let me give you another example, and I'm only telling y'all
I'm saying
that
this.
very likely y'all do not.
I know why you're saying this.
The way you think you know me, because I have a very deep and rich cadre of friends.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
And that's where I'm going. And production's going to be shocked to me telling this story. I was introduced to an influencer that I have become friends with that was connected with the show and have had dinner in Louisiana with him. He was here just weeks ago, and I quietly had dinner with him, and he moved from influencer to OnlyFans to a very vigorous OnlyFans program, to sexual being a porn star by many various studios that watched him on OnlyFans and said, you know, you are really super interesting for us. And he has turned his influencing job 3 years ago into a very sizable vocation for himself. And it was because he said, wait, I'm not going to be limited by what people think I should or shouldn't do.
But I think that's the key, right? Is this whole conversation that we're having is that you have to have that conversation with yourself, right? Any person that does this, whether it be, Jonathan's like, I've been thinking about it. It's literally a conversation where you say, it's not a second-class citizen. I don't like that term, but it is accepting that I'm going in a different direction, right? My life is going in a different direction. It's the direction that I wanted to go in, kind of like how we've been talking about all night. It's the direction that I want to go into. It's the direction that I desire to go into, because I think that that's the key. And sometimes, whether you have a corporate job, all those things, there are pieces to that you have to sit there and weigh, right? You have to actually say to yourself, is this where I would like to go? A lot of, at South Florida, people say to me all the time, like, why are you not a full-time drag queen, right? Well, to be very honest with you, I like job security. I like having insurance. I like not having to worry, right? And it's not that I put down on that, but it's a very similar thing where you have to make a choice when you do make that, because it's a life direction that you go into.
To that point, I have two friends that are RuPaul drag race queens.
Can you pay him again? Just pay him.
We are getting so much Taco Bell after this.
Oh my gosh. And they make more money in their sexual experiences in OnlyFans than they do as a drag queen.
Exactly.
And the reason why they, from the very beginning, they might have done sex work, which they don't do anymore because they don't need to, but they've used their notoriety as being a RuPaul drag queen on OnlyFans. And their shtick is they start as the drag queen and then move out of wig removal, dress removal, whatever removal, into the presentation that they do on OnlyFans, and there's a whole cadre of people that would embrace and go, oh, I'm for sure paying and paying.
Exactly.
And, paying.
And I may have responded to one of those girls that wanted the dick pic, and I did that.
Come on,
let me also say this though. At the end of the day, you know, you have companies who troll Twitter and troll OnlyFans to find those people who want to go out the box. And so I love what you said about in your moment in your life, because they make their money. The Red Table, those platforms, YouTube, the XTube, and all those platforms make money if they can solicit you to allow your videos to show on their platform. They make a certain amount of money, and then you make a certain amount of money. Yeah. And although I have not, again, only afforded a Whopper during COVID, but I had those
double
people.
Whopper.
It was a double Whopper.
There you go.
But I had people approach. I had some of those platforms approach me if you're willing to do. And one of my hard knows was I'm never going to show my face. If you don't know my body, I have a tattoo or two.
Oh, you don't show your face?
I would never show my face.
It's that choice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Only if you pay for it.
Why is that?
Because, again, I was a former educator. And so I was inside of a classroom for 20 years. And so what I would never want to happen is 20 years later, somebody's mother says he did something to my child.
That was my teacher.
Or that was my teacher and he did.
He was grooming me.
And so all of that, and again, it's a personal choice because I have no idea where my life is going to lead me next year, 2 years from now.
Yeah, broadly to that observation, just quickly, do you think we'll ever progress as Americans? You know, we're very far behind European.
I'm just going to say no before you even finish that question.
I know.
No.
Do you think?
As long as religion runs this country, no.
Yeah.
I think we're about 25 years behind wherever Europe is. So I think in 25 years, yes, it'll be. And there's already so many OnlyFans now. Like when I think about all the kids that are sexting each other, everybody has naked photos now. So whatever politician in 10 years, you can just expect some angry ex-boyfriend or girlfriend is going to be surfacing those. Yeah. We'll deal with it for the first time. It's going to take up all the media attention for 5 years, and then we'll get used to it.
I will say, though, much to what you're saying, because the trends are actually happening in America right now. They're slower than in Europe, but there is a de-religion of Europe happening right now. Large chunks of European countries now are agnostic, atheistic, like it's happening. And they're already seeing the trend happening in the U.S., which unfortunately everything is tied to that, right? As far as a culture.
Religion is a whole nother topic, hot topic that we want to talk about it.
Never. In 2023.
Right, exactly. But at the end of the day, in terms of this topic and what Ask Gay Bros, I love their site, by the way.
It's so good.
It is so
You got me hooked on that. You got me hooked on that.
Gay Bros, congratulate you because you're among the best cultural conversations about the gay community in the world. Congratulations to you.
It's on Reddit.
And it's happening out.
Do you know what Reddit is?
I know Reddit. I don't know Gay Bros.
Okay.
But
well, it's one of the channels in Reddit, right?
I'll research that.
And it's really the same commitment that we have. It's happening out. Quick poll here. Who would, has anybody done pay and made money in terms of sexual work? Online. Anybody else?
That they're not going to admit.
I did it for free. No, I'm joking.
All right. No shame. So we kind of have a 1.5 at the table. All right.
Don't nobody want to see this.
And just curious, quick poll.
Some Hobbit porn.
Would you?
You got some big ass feet.
Wait, let's pause a moment to digest that.
Yeah, swallow all of that.
I swallow all of that.
You know I call myself Hobbit Queen all the time.
Where is Bacardi when we need that? Right? And then the last question: would you consider doing it? Who would consider doing it?
If you know that your financial security is going to be tied to it, and that you don't need to worry about it,
right? But your financial security is now. The reason I tell you about one of my friends that has in their handle horse something, you don't know who the person is. You would never. It could be you, and the feature of that performance.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, I think that maybe 20 years ago. I don't think FayWhat.
But there's a lot of other things you could do. You could sell your underwear,
your feet,
your socks, send pictures of your feet. Like there are plenty of other things that's considered sex work.
I have a friend.
Oh my God! Right now,
cállate la boca con los amigos, por favor.
That verbally is aggressive with you, and that's all he does.
Yep.
You never see his penis, his dick. He just sits there and kind of. I won't go as far as saying he humiliates you, but he's gay
The degrading
and
thing.
marginalizes you as gay.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole cadre
It's
of
a
people
thing.
that just
It is a
love
thing. There's a niche.
that.
There's a niche for everything.
And they're willing to pay for it.
They're money subs. They're submissives who just want to give money for whatever reason,
And
whatever
who's,
that thing is.
whose
Cash
right is
pigs.
it to judge them for how they want to
it's
spend their
nobody's.
money?
No, totally. But it just
None.
depends on how comfortable you are. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a couple sex tapes out there that I haven't gotten back.
Girls
And
Gone
I'm
Wild.
really
You
afraid that will pop up somewhere.
They Gone
What is it?
Wild.
Is it in VHS? What do you mean you haven't gotten it back?
Betamax.
Can I have a camera?
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
The camera's
We
right
ain't
on
Thank you, Jonathan.
It's Betamax.
Just a moment.
No.
please. Pause. whoever FayWhat sex tapes.
Oh my God.
I assure you that It's Happening Out would pay you substantially.
Yes, I would.
You would please come forward. You see my Facebook handle there. Please contact me directly. This is a public service announcement of It's Happening
This is a
Out.
PSA.
Okay, there we go.
Trust me, I will find you and burn your house down. Okay.
Our hot topic of the week. Very, very interesting.
Was I the only one that said yes?
No, but
And you're the only one that we didn't want to watch. Okay. let's go.
All right, moving on.
I said no because I said Hobbit
said
porn.
no,
Nobody wants
Jonathan?
All right, let's move on.
So, yeah.
Our game this week and our final game tonight in the show is called Shag, Marry, Chop, and it's sponsored by Andrew Christian. Our game is a playful conversation about sex, much like the last topic.
And every episode.
Christian is the literal representation of that playfulness and the world's most recognized sexy fashion brand for men. Iconic names like Trophy Boy, that phrase is just, it rings, it sings. Trophy Boy, swimsuits, underwear are just the start of the Andrew Christian brand. Founded by and dedicated to the LGBTQ plus community, Andrew Christian has become a status symbol for straight men wanting to adopt the lifestyle of our community. And that's exactly what Andrew Christian represents. The brand support of our community is completely unparalleled. Pride events, major parties, and charitable fundraisers, and many of the issues that have become critical to the gay community are all supported by Andrew Christian. And by the way, we congratulate Andrew Christian personally because he's been honored as 2022's Out 100. Congratulations for that. His brand presence in pop culture, entertainment, video, and so much more is why Andrew Christian is so loved and is our sponsor of Shag, Marry, Chop. And this time, our theme is turning up the heat in Wakanda. Yeah. And here are our hottest picks. First up is Namor, the mutant leader of the undersea Mayan kingdom of Tolakan.
Just hearing you say it is
Caucasian. It's a Caucasian spice.
No, no.
It's all mayonnaise.
I know.
It's all mayonnaise.
This is white. Wait, y'all are going to read me on.
No, the nerd part of me right now is living for
Are
this
you
moment.
living?
Oh my
Okay.
God. That boy, baby.
All right, well, here's where we go off the cliff.
Oh my God.
Okoye?
Yep, you got it.
Did I get it?
You got it. You got it.
She is the former general of the Dora Milaje and the head of Wakanda.
Come on,
You got it. Yes.
This is high praise. High praise is going on here. And M'Baku,
Mbaku. Yes.
the current king of Wakanda and leader of the Jabari tribe. So let's play our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. Now let's go to the only person that knows nothing about. No, let's not do that. Faye, let's start with you.
Oh, okay,
You
all right.
lead us off.
I am gonna shag M'Baku because he's a hottie, and yeah, I mean, look at that body, look at that face, look at that. I'm all about it. I am going
You like
to.
the bigger boy?
I do love the bigger boy. He's like a bear, but like a straight bear.
He is.
Yeah, I love
Yes,
it.
he
Like,
is,
I'm all about
bro.
it. He's just look at those lips.
The
I
confidence.
can get
All
lost
of
in
it.
that, like just that swag.
He thinks he can beat up anybody.
I would let him beat me up.
I let him
And I wouldn't call the cops or anything.
Yes,
puppy.
Chris
Like,
Brown.
it would be totally good. It would be
Come on, Rihanna.
black on brown like stuff.
can
It would
be
be
it
really
on
yummy. I love it.
And you're married?
I am gonna marry Okoye. I know. But it's like, come on, look at her. I mean, we can make beautiful babies and live
Yes.
a long life. Of
Well, you're also a lesbian.
lesbianism, like, you know.
Caramello.
No, but I
yes.
always play this game sincerely.
You
You know
do,
that,
you do,
right?
yes.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not. It always is a bunch of men that I have to
Yes.
play the game,
Absolutely.
right? I
Absolutely.
mean,
No.
so come on. I get to have the hot woman.
More
Let me
women.
marry her.
More women.
No.
Wait, are you
No.
asking permission?
Never.
I want that Wakanda branded
Never.
a U-Haul to show
why
up,
is your
right?
hands out like this?
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm talking about a U-Haul. I'm talking about a Wakanda U-Haul. I want that to show up.
Black U-Haul.
And by
Right?
you- oh,
Yeah.
One more time. Auntie Maim,
Yeah.
Wakanda. What
Yeah, Wakanda. That's Wakanda, honey. You don't know yet.
Wakanda.
Somebody better tell you.
He think he knows.
He don't know. He don't know.
She said she be one that Wakanda.
I was very quiet when Elimination was bragging. I could brag right along with
Oh,
you.
I got the evidence to show it.
But we know.
What you got? I got the evidence to prove it. What you want?
Yo, we ain't trying to make a map on this table
Get
now.
the
Come on
measuring
now.
tape, bitches. Anyway, so that means I am chopping Namor. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
That was a tough one. Namore, sorry, because that was tough. That was a tough one because he was a hottie too.
Yeah, so Brown is not so interesting to you?
Well, Brown was interesting to me. Well, what are you talking about? Well, I'd have an orgy right there.
Okay.
In the bathroom.
And Jonathan Casañas.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm going the same way as.
You gonna marry her?
I am gonna marry. Yeah, I'm gonna marry Okoye.
She's so
I'm gonna
badass.
bang or shag M'Baku,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna chop Namor.
Now, he might hurt you.
Who? M'Baku?
He would like it.
He can hurt me all he wants.
See? Have
But-
you seen his boyfriend?
but he's gonna be
His boyfriend's
surprised.
huge.
He's gonna be surprised because I'll flip that shit real quick.
Like a vice
And I'll
grip.
turn that paint right on his
I'm just
ass.
sitting here wondering, wait.
Like a vice grip, honey.
He's kind of a grizzly.
Yeah, that's what I like. I'm into that shit.
I know you are.
Watch my OnlyFans.
Right, tell him about it, baby.
Watch my OnlyFans.
Here
You
we
gonna find
are.
out.
Right now.
Wait, make sure you follow the new OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's at Wakanda.
M'Baku, oh no, she better don't.
All right, better don't. She better don't.
Yes, girl.
Okay, and oh my gosh, you're rejecting it. Wait, the two Latinos immediately reject the Latino?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It's
That's how
fine.
it be sometimes.
It's Latino hate crime. That's okay.
Happens all the time in North Miami.
I was gonna say, like,
Wait, what's
that's common. That is common down here. That's very common.
Just another Tuesday.
I mean,
Wow.
it is
Okay.
Hialeah.
Very
Right?
common.
Okay, and Auntie Maim, who are you going to shag?
So M'Baku can beat the doors down. I'm gonna shag that, climb that tree. I done lost my nail.
She broke a nail.
I'm gonna climb that oak tree. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna pick some fruit. It's gonna be pretty. I'm gonna say that right now. Right? It's nice. I'm gonna say some chocolate covered cherries. Namor, you gonna be my husband because
there
yes,
we are.
honey, he's into
Now,
eating.
what do you like about him?
Like him, the actor, or him, the character?
No, it's only the character.
Him, the character. Namor is a badass character in the Marvel universe.
The ankle wings is not too silly for you.
I don't get it. No. No.
Fly together, right?
Somebody is in the ocean and they get out and they can fly in the air. Yes, honey. Let's do it. Do whatever you got to do, right? We keep it freaky. It's
fly up in
fine,
your
right?
waters.
Even better if you can carry me while you flying. I will take it, right?
Us right there.
That save us on some plane tickets
And
right there.
Marian's gonna save us some plane tickets.
I'm gonna say, right?
Wait,
It's expensive.
Wait,
100%.
sexy is value oriented?
Yes! Everybody loves a bargain. That's why we got BJ's. Right?
Yeah.
everybody loves a bargain.
I'm aligned.
Costco and
I'm aligned.
BJ's. Right? Okoye, I love you, girl. We gonna go shopping together. Like, we gonna have a good time. I'm gonna chop you, but it's in the friend zone chop. It ain't like we gonna be friends, girl.
She's fine with me.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What's
We
she doing with me?
gonna hang out with Faye. It's gonna be fun. We got a double date with Namor.
Elimination? What are you going to be doing?
So, like, kudos to the production for finding us some melanin and some beautifulness. That's
Yes.
Finding some what?
Melanin.
Some melanin.
It's
Melanin,
no
Al, melanin.
No, you don't have.
Not
Don't
melatonin.
worry about
Wait,
it. Santa Claus, stay right
Wait,
there.
was that a white hate crime?
For just
close.
20 cents, you can have the melanin deficient person right here on the panel.
Wait, did I just get hit by a
Cue
truck?
Sarah McLachlan.
In the arms of the
I am actually going to postpone Okoye
There you go, postpone.
because because we're gonna do some things later on down the road. M'Baku, I want to share because I feel like we can wrestle, we can do some things. The animalistic thing will come out.
Put that on OnlyFans right there.
I would
Put
watch
that
that.
on OnlyFans.
Hell to the yeah.
I want to see
There's
go
a
through that.
$3,000 only.
Lord have mercy.
All
right.
That's definitely a pay-per-view.
Wait, here's the question because we hear the legendary bragging.
Absolutely, I'm gonna break all day, every day. So
And
Namor,
he's got legendary bragging too.
He does.
You meet up with a big old boy like that.
And so the goal is.
Have you seen his cakes? They're made for each other.
Not only would I eat cakes, but I would never starve.
That's right, little Debbie, honey.
I would dive in as deep as I can.
Yes.
And then I feel like he would wrestle to make sure that he's going to be.
Use him as an example.
Use him all day, every day. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Certainly,
Sorry?
you've encountered big, beefy bear boys like that think, I'm the alpha, you're not going to be the alpha.
And typically, society says they have to be, but all they really want to be is their knees on the bed with
Pillow
their
queen.
back in the air with the ass open for me to
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
And so daddy identifies, and daddy knows what needs to happen. And Baku, I got him all day, every day.
Yes!
I would watch
Teddy!
I would lick
right
it
now.
well.
I'm going to make a note tomorrow to marketing where this
can't
guy
wait.
is for sure going to watch this.
I can't wait.
Please do. That's hashtag him, tag him on. And so I would marry Namor. And because as a comic, as a person who loved the comic series, he's into water sports. He loves water.
Yes, he does.
And so I feel like we can do some things inside the water. I can't swim. However, he can teach me how to swim. I can give him some water sports.
Oh, yeah.
You can't swim at all.
At all. Huh? But I feel like just the fact that he's a prince.
He'll teach you, honey.
He could teach me.
Or he could just.
Or not,
swim
or he
with
could just
you.
carry you.
Yeah.
That's it. Why would you learn?
So let's be clear.
I'm done,
Can you
yeah.
imagine flowing through the water, me riding his kicks as we float?
Yeah.
I'm
rhythm of the
imagining it
ocean?
right now,
The
actually.
rhythm of the ocean. And
I'm
then we
actually
fly
okay
through
with
the
that.
sky with those ankle
I love
things.
that.
Like, oh my gosh.
What do you think about him as a character in the relationship that you do in marrying him? That he's good and he's bad, and you don't know at any given moment the good nature of him and the bad nature of him.
So my name is Elimination. I earned this name for a reason, because at the end of the day, I can be this, I can be that. This two-spirit individual is amazing at that I am never going to be what you want me to be.
Elimination, in case you all don't know, because we've never talked about this at It's Happening Out, Elimination's ancestral family is Native American from North Carolina. And that's where his...
Oh, we talked about it.
And kudos to you,
talk
because
about
one of the shows you actually pronounced the tribal name correctly,
Right.
and the history. So kudos again to you for you doing your work.
It's very funny that he said that, because my tribal family is the Sioux Nation in the Dakotas. So when you said that, I was like, oh, because we used to have a license plate on the back of a car that said "We Sioux," and people thought it was like a
lawyer thing?
Yeah, lawyer thing. I was like, no, y'all, it's a tribe.
So at the end of the day, the fact that he can be whoever he wants to be, how he chooses to be and to live, that shit is hot to
Even
me.
sexier.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, my nipples, for one second, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I didn't mean to touch my mic. And so those are my choices.
Those are your
That's what he
mics.
calls it now? Okay.
And
I can speak into it.
Hello.
So you're chopping.
Hello.
No, I'm postponing.
Postponing, okay.
Because I think that the poly life could come in, because he's in the water. She's on land.
That's right.
Oh my gosh,
Best of
I got the
both
best of both
worlds, right?
worlds.
You can't be breathing all the time, that water,
Let me tell you,
girl.
baby.
An interesting thing.
You guys are taking this real
For
serious.
me, I'm not playing this game, but for me, she is one of the sexiest
She really is.
characters
Oh my gosh.
I've ever seen. Literally, on screen, you cannot take your eye
I
off.
want to lick her ear.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be friends with her so
Out of
I
all
can
the
go.
things
I
you
want to
said
go to
earlier.
the lesbian bar so I get free
He
drinks.
helps, exactly.
I just want to see her knees and just like talk to me, like give me that scout and give me that
rates.
empowerment.
You said her
that
knees?
empowerment. I want to sit down as a kid, Indian style, and watch. Tell me how to be that powerful. Tell me how to be that amazing.
She redefines masculinity and femininity in that she is totally
Beautifully.
in control.
Exactly, and you'd enjoy it. Like, I would let her be the top and say, please,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
top me.
interesting. All right.
You guys have tossed them.
All right, now here's the shag.
And we all exhale.
We TriniDaddy?
Yeah.
We got
Everybody's going, ask Trini, ask Trini.
We all waiting now.
No, we're waiting.
Who said that?
All right. Nobody want to hear it.
Like,
That movie.
And I'm teeing you
Who
right
the
up,
people?
Faye, for this. But when I saw, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yes.
What
of
a
course.
surprise.
movies.
What a surprise.
I saw the first one. I saw the first
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
with the-
surprise.
with the-
It's not on channel 4, 6,
Yeah.
or 10, so he hasn't seen it.
I'm gonna catch up over the holiday. I'm gonna catch up over the holiday.
When talkies finally come out, he's going to get to the movie theater.
But when I was on Facebook and Instagram, I saw somebody post a picture of Namor. That's how you say it, right?
Yes.
Namor?
Yes.
Namor.
Namor. Just
Okay.
call him Namor.
Namor. And they were saying all these things about how sexy he is and everything, and I didn't know anything about. I didn't know what movie he was from or anything. And I said,
He looks very much like you, by the way.
"Thank you for saying that first, because I was about to say that."
Oh,
Say it.
modest.
Yeah, look at that.
Say it.
Modest.
Eat him alive, Al. Why did you
modest.
stop?
I told you I was teasing you.
You would have. You really would have.
Modest.
So when
So
I
you chop him,
So
right?
at first,
You chop him.
'Cause you
Exactly
left
right.
yourself.
There we
So
go.
I thought he was Indian at first, and I thought he was. I don't know what movie he was from.
Mexican.
So yeah,
right.
but I thought he was from like the other side of the world.
But he can dance.
So I looked at him and I said,
can do
people are
whatever you want.
looking at somebody like that and thinking that they're attractive. And it was mind-blowing to me. I've never been a person that has to see themselves on TV
Oh my
in
God.
order to see whatever.
Excuse me.
But I understand other people who feel like they need that representation. But for the first time, I saw people like drooling over a dude that has features that are similar to mine. And I'm not saying I look exactly like him. But
why was that important to you?
it wasn't important to me because I don't I have good self-esteem, but I have never seen a person that looks like that ever
You gotta watch more TV.
in Hollywood, where that kind of look and that person was hailed as being beautiful. I've seen being intelligent, I've seen being whatever, but being hot.
Why is that
never
important
seen
to
that.
you? Why? What are you telling us?
When I saw that, I said to myself, I'm like, things are kind of changing, and it was really a great moment for me.
And do you find it hot?
It was hot, yeah. I think that finally, more than like anything that related to me, I said finally, I think people are coming around to seeing that people who have different features than what are the standard. Because I hear that all the time with black, and I'm kind of this mixed kind of gray in between area, but I've seen many black leading men. I've seen Waiting to Exhale and Stella Got Her Groove Back and all the stuff with these, but I've never seen.
You know there's more movies.
Yeah, but I've never seen anybody that looks like that.
We know what you're going to be dressed as for next Halloween. The more, right?
So now, I am.
Yes, I can make that for you.
All right,
so
we
you
get
know.
together. So now to play the game,
Bitch.
I have to shag them more.
I've got one more question about that.
You really
Al's intrigued, y'all. Come on.
Al is picturing.
And we are all intrigued, and the reason is because
I'm not
Trini's an attractive guy.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And while he says, I've got great self-esteem, there's contradiction in what he's saying. Because what he is saying as it relates to, I don't see this, and finally there's some representation that people are thinking this is attractive. You didn't need him to do that for you, ever. You don't need that character to know that. That's true for black, that's true for trans, that's true for lesbians, that's true for everything. The difference in, it just seems to me interesting in that the white, gay, privileged gay joke that I make all the time. I don't need anyone else's approval to tell me this is how I should feel. That's what I just.
Yeah, but that's easy. For you to say.
Because everyone
Do
is
you
white.
feel that way?
I know.
He doesn't feel that way.
I feel in real life,
That's what
I
I'm
feel
pointing
just
out.
confident. In Hollywood, I've never seen this.
And
So that's why I think that the progress in Hollywood, where maybe there are some people who would never have considered that look as being attractive. So, and then that takes it to a whole nother level of like, well, who you
So
going to
that's
shag,
your-
marry,
that's your
chop?
shag?
You're
I'm
right.
going to shag that because I think that would be just a really interesting experience.
Yes, I'd watch that
Because I've
OnlyFans.
never shagged anybody that looks like that.
Would, right?
Him
little
shag
trick.
you, or both.
I have to shag him.
Got the name
That's
to
just
type. Yeah.
how I feel comfortable with.
I know them.
And for to marry, I have to marry Okoye because I picture myself putting my forehead to her forehead.
What?
And just in like
Staring
this
into
tantra
her
kind of
eyes.
gaze.
Ooh,
like
yes.
just like looking at each other,
Come on,
absorbing
Sting.
everything that we have
Get off
to
my wife.
exchange with each other. And then like, let me get into my light right quick. And I just want to like,
Let me get into
be
my light.
so close right to her.
The ego on
And
this
just
boy.
like, I want to be her adversary.
right?
I want to be her ally. I want to be everything.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like.
You're gonna have a spiritual orgasm, but not a
We're
real
gonna
one.
challenge each other. We're gonna do everything with each other.
I'm curious. Okay, so
Come
you
on,
do that.
Sting.
Oh well, it's not fair because you
some
haven't
of
watched
yourself.
the content. Would you win or would she win?
I always win.
Whoa.
No, he saw the
I'm
first
gonna win
one.
against her. I'm gonna win against her.
Clearly, you have not watched
And
the second movie.
Mbaku, she probably beat my ass.
But you still win because you like that.
But I'm gonna win because I'll win her over here.
It's all, it's a
Now,
mental
serious.
thing.
I'm asking you a serious question. Do you think it's sweet of how naive he really is?
Sweet would not be the word that I would use, but
What word would you use?
Disgusting.
idiotic.
No.
No. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I think he's just calling himself good looking by saying that he looks like this guy. You guys are all interpreting it like so different.
No.
And he's like, look, I look like him. Look at me, I'm hot.
No,
No,
that's
I don't.
That's not
hold on.
the intention.
Let me say,
It really
Trini.
isn't.
And I would drag myself.
Really
I think.
isn't.
I'm okay with that, even if he did do that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay.
Hold on, just in defense of Trini, how is that different than any of the rest of you?
I was gonna say for Trini,
Right.
literally, like
all of you do that.
Here's the thing, right? And this is all no shade to you, right? We live in a society where people of color, of all colors, right, regardless of queer, straight, whatever, people of color have never been told consistently that you are valid, you are attractive, you are worthy, all of that, right? And I mean, all of us here are at least old enough to say that the media now is changing, but most of us grew up in a time where that was not a thing.
I saw La Bamba.
Right? Exactly.
And you have to
So I feel for him.
You
because
have to learn how to accept
Right.
Exactly.
what
Right.
you're
And that takes time.
I don't even think that way. Honestly,
Exactly.
I don't. I don't
But you
even
wouldn't think
consider
that
it.
way, Al.
No, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And not to go too deep here because we're just playing a fun game. But that's the sad thing in this conversation.
Yes.
It's washing over me. Oh, I'm so
But even
sad y'all feel that
queer
way.
folks, you know, again, like, as I shared that, you know, I didn't realize how beautiful I was growing up because I was skinny, I had curly hair, I was short, and so I had to embrace who I was. Yeah, there was the Elder Barges, there was the Albie Shores, there was all those pretty light-skinned folks. But they were there, and they still had support. And so when Trini says that, I feel a little shame because I'm thinking, yeah, you didn't watch enough TV because brown folks, but they're pretty brown folks was on TV. They could give you that sense of awareness and sense of beauty. But then the second time is you also mentioned how you didn't like yourself in the mirror. So what I encourage you to do is go back and take a moment and look at that reflection because that reflection is so beautiful.
Put on a
But if I can
harness
just
and
say
just
the
stand in
difference
front of the mirror.
between the black icons and the brown icons, which they are kind of mixed together, is that I don't want to compare like traumas or whatever with it.
We know.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. Say what you go say.
With black folks, that they had like this kind of sexy body masculinity kind of thing with them, whereas brown folks were not. And I'm not talking about Latinos.
No, you're talking about.
I'm talking about like
brown
people who look
folks.
like me.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Were either portrayed as like taxi cab drivers or
7-Eleven
this
guy.
or whatever.
Right.
I have never seen somebody that looks like that. And even though he's not in it, he just kind of looks that way.
Right.
And so that's what I was like, wow, that's great that somebody
super
like looked like that.
It's true.
Is like kind of a sex icon.
I mean, what's the fellow
And
from
so I chopped the other guy.
Eternals, right? The comedian from Eternals. When he got into shape, right? Right. He got into shape, and it was shocking to people. And I think it was almost as shocking because he was a Pakistani man that was in superhero shape.
Yes.
And he still is not considered, in my opinion, because I was watching him last night, like a sexy dude.
Yeah.
He's considered like, oh, he looked great for that film role, but he's not considered. And there has not been one
There's a
person
label
yet that looks like me,
but I mean,
that has been considered
I don't know.
that.
I love
welcome to the party, honey.
I love Raj.
Welcome to the party. We've all been there for like 10 years. I'm so glad you finally came.
Okay. And just for clarity, your chop is?
M'Baku.
And that's because it's
Process of elimination.
you just
Process of elimination.
No, more for me.
Baby, come to the elimination chamber.
More
I got
for
no plans for
me.
you.
Wow,
Not
this
when
turned
I'm
out to be a
winning.
super interesting Shagmary
Because we're interesting people.
Yes, you are.
The most diverse in the
Ever. Exactly right.
I know.
All right.
In Wilt
with
Manor.
So much shagging, marrying, and chopping. Let me remind you what we love about Andrew Christian.
Show technology features a hidden comfy cup that acts like a cock ring. You put your dick and balls in, and it lifts up and up. It features our signature slimming waistband. It's great for everyday support, going to the gym, or just when you want to enhance it. Show It Tech adds up to 1.5 inches to your current frontal measurements. Show everyone what you're working with Show It Tech. Get it now at andrewchristian.com.
Well, thank you, Andrew Christian. Well, it's time to say goodnight, so let's hear from our host for one final time. Good night, and let's begin with you, Jonathan Casañas.
Well, I love the seat. I love the show. I love being with you guys. This conversation has really kind of hit my heart. This was a really interesting, heavy show. I cried maybe 3 times. I had to hold my tongue a few times because I was going to really bawl, especially about my grandfather and Spain and Cuba. So I just want to thank you guys for really allowing me to feel that. in what was a drunken night yesterday, and I feel horrible about my life. I definitely feel a lot more cultured and accomplished being here.
You're such a thunder pussy.
I am a thunder pussy.
Right, there we go. All right, and a good night from Auntie Maim.
Good night, everybody. You know, I love all of my little nieces and nephews. Remember, the holidays are coming up. Please watch each other's back. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
This is not an easy time for everybody. This is just like Thanksgiving. You know, I do my sermon. Watch each other's back. Check on each other. Check to make sure, if you haven't heard from somebody in a while, just check on them. Just say, hi, how you doing?
Absolutely.
Don't leave that alone.
And a good night from Elimination.
Kinky Humans, it's so great to be on this show. It's so great to be around and share our lives with you. I thank you to this wonderful cast. I can't wait. I enjoy every moment with us together. Thank you for educating me. Remember, every smile is not always a smile we often put on many. Our drag looks different in each human. So realize that, Kinky Humans, love on each other, pluck a person or two, and just tell them you love them.
Absolutely. That's the next message. And a good night from TriniDaddy.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to have this seat on the table. Thank you to It's Happening Out and all of you for putting up with some of my homestead, some of my opinions, some of what I am. But I think that it's really great that you all embrace it. I really, truly love each and every one of you, and thank you.
Yeah, that's very nice. And your
Are you going to
voice,
cry?
Your voice is your voice is valued.
I want to hit him. I don't know why.
You're saying-
Like, none of this like works on me.
And of course, speaking of the Queen of,
I don't understand. You guys all fall for this shit.
Look at
that face.
Look at that play day. We have a play day coming.
There's some trauma. Was there a brown man that hated you when you were a child? My God.
Look at that face.
Yo, that's such a true shit.
That little mush. You don't want to mush it.
Happening right now.
Doesn't look like a math
saying
teacher.
Something nice about Faye. On Monday, it's FayWhat's birthday.
Yay!
I want to take a moment to say how much we cherish FayWhat and how wonderful she is and how nice she is.
Happy 100, baby. Happy 100.
Happy birthday, FayWhat.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
I'm going to be real
man.
nice. You are the sister that I always wanted, and I'm going to say that right now.
I love you so much.
I
John,
love
you're like
you.
a brother to me.
I know.
freaking love you. Like, to
You're a real ass bitch. I'm gonna
That's
say
right.
that. You are never fake. You're never phony. You say what you mean. And you sent me the most beautiful text message on my birthday. So hopefully I can return the favor. So I'm gonna write your birthday down so I don't fucking forget.
How old
She's
are you, my man?
exactly.
Hell no.
She's exactly the sister that I have already, which is why I can't stand her.
I remind him of his sister that beats on him. I love your sister. Sister, call me. I want to be friends with your sister.
She wants the inside info.
Not with you. All right, listen, folks. So if you missed the FayWhat show this Monday, make sure that you catch it on demand because it's our holiday special. We've got a lot of things going on in our community, including Gabe Salazar, that's part of the Gay Men's Choir, right? Gay Men's Chorus in South Florida, and they've got an incredible show at the Hard Rock that you don't want to miss. Also, Miss Bouvier, she's got her Minnie's Merry Murder Christmas, and right now up to midnight tonight, if you get tickets and you put promo code FayWhat, you get 2-for-1 tickets on any of the shows that she's got till this weekend. So make sure that you go and do that today. And they were both on my show on Monday, and they were just fabulous. We have such an incredible community, and Christmas time we all come together, and it's just beautiful. But piggybacking on what Auntie Maim said, yes, once the holiday parties are over, right, a lot of us don't have family, so please stick to your chosen family. Make sure that they're okay during this holiday season. And next Wednesday, I will be in Al Ferguson's seat.
Get rid of that bitch. Yes.
2 Wednesdays, I will be hosting It's Happening Out.
New Year.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so much better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank God I'm not going to be here.
You're giving that bitch the
I asked for that. Thank you very much for that.
That's like early Christmas for my mama. She's going to be so happy.
Wow. Wow. Just saying some wows here.
The House of Bobo is leaving the building.
Right. Happy birthday, FayWhat. And by the way,
Thank you.
who would have ever thought that in the end of 2022, Faye would have in bed more gay boys than Elimination and Jonathan Casañas combined?
Wow.
Nobody.
Right?
Elimination's like close.
She's booked and busy, so you know she's a superstar. So we're gonna allow her to, allow her to do that.
Well, that's it. Another week with It's Happening Out. You sat right here at the LGBTQ plus kitchen table as we kikied on the things that are important to our community. We invite you to follow our 501c3 nonprofit experiment. Is our LGBTQ community important to you? Our mission means we think it deeply is. Pick up Hotspots magazine on newsstands all over South Florida. Queer News Tonight covering the LGBTQ plus news of South Florida, America, and our world. And it is daily and live at 8 p.m. on Roku, Apple TV, and many other television platforms. And of course, our flagship is with you here tonight and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. because remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. And until, for me, next year, we wish you good night.
Good night.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.